For the Bills this Sunday when they do host the Kansas City Chiefs. Defensive tackle Daquan Jones, wide receiver Josh Palmer, and linebacker Shaq Thompson are all out, while cornerback Taron Johnson is questionable after picking up a groin injury today at practice. Some other notes from head coach Sean McDermott before practice. Safety Taylor Rapp had surgery on his knee. He may be out for the remainder of the season. And Gabe Davis not going to be activated from the practice squad this week. The Barnes Firm Injury Report, it is brought to you by the Barnes Firm. Injured for help, call 1-800-8-MILLION. Pre-game coverage on Sunday is going to get underway at 11 a.m. We'll carry you all the way to kickoff at 4:25, where we'll then hand the baton off to Chris Brown, Eric Wood, and Sal Capaccio, who will be on the call from the Northwest Bank broadcast booth. Changes beginning in Miami. Chris Greer out as general manager, a position he has held since 2016. Champ Kelly is going to serve as the interim general manager, and Mike McDaniel is expected to stay on as head coach for the remainder of the season. Jaguars rookie Travis Hunter, he is being placed on IR. He's going to be out at least the next 4 games after suffering a non-contact knee injury yesterday at practice. Washington quarterback Jaden Daniels is going to start this Sunday versus Seattle, and the NFL has fined Baltimore $100,000 for violating the league's injury report policy. Then at 8 p.m. tonight, Game 6 of the World Series in Toronto. Blue Jays can clinch their first title since 1993 with a win tonight. Yoshinobu Yamamoto and Kevin Gausman are your pitchers on the bump tonight. It's Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
My dad's not here right now. He's still at work. So I'm going to blast him.
Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
I'm going to see if there's a clean version so that my parents and the people at my school will not get mad at me. We've got the spritzer filled with water just in case if stuff gets too fire. I'm going to set up the speaker and I'm going to listen to
Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
I think this is the best
Mike Schopp
feature that I've heard in a long time. I think his flow is really good in it, and I like his aggressiveness on it, and
the Bulldog.
Put not enough effort in it. I think overall his flow was good, but I don't like that mumble rapping. That was my review of
Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
Didn't need a spritzer. Wasn't fire enough. No spritzer for you. No spritzer.
Football Friday today from Neighbors Pub on Kenmore. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog, pleased to be with you. It's brought to you by Celino Law. Car crash? Call Celino, call the 8s. And by Crosby's Pizza and Subs, Crosby's Hometown Fuel, game day ready since 1922. It's been a minute since we've been at a bar together at work.
Doing a show, yes, that's right. Yes,
we are so close to the patrons, I'm not sure if these toes at the end of my feet are mine or theirs. But
it's cozy.
It's cozy.
It's cozy, and Friday is well underway here.
Shorts were the right call, of course.
I'm perfectly comfortable
the
in
parking lot,
in my blue jeans.
It was not even a 30-second walk inside from the car, and these places can get hot. Of course, that's just one thing to think about today.
Right. Yeah, I'm perfectly comfortable.
Good. So we'll talk to Sal at 5. Taylor Rapp is not coming back.
All right.
We don't know about a couple of other guys here. We'll figure that out with Sal. The spread is interesting. This is where I've been actually spending, honestly, most of my thinking today about Sunday is, and I've been listening to Sam, who will be on with us at 3:30, talk about it, that last year when the Chiefs came up, they were 2.5-point underdogs at 9-0. And right now they're 2-point favorites.
And the Bills were sitting on 2 losses just like they are now, right? I don't
Yes.
remember what their record was. Was it 7-2?
6-2?
6-2, whatever. So, yeah, similar. I mean, on that end, similar. And here the Chiefs are with a worse record. And they're, I assume, still favored. I didn't think
they're favored by 2.
2, yeah. So, yeah, that is interesting. I think the perception of the Bills right now is that they're going the wrong way. and the Chiefs, despite the 40-9 win over Carolina last week, and that the Chiefs are all systems go pointing upward.
That's the thing that's the most interesting about it to me is last week's score. Because I'm not Sam, I'm not the betting expert, but I care about it. I pay attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have a score like that, doesn't usually the public react to that favorably? Like, okay, they're actually fine. Why isn't that happening this week? Either nationally, locally, you listening, maybe you think it is. Like, do you sense that the fans are not right? And I don't want it to be...
Oh, we're definitely not right.
But I don't want it to be the past working. Because there's always that.
Well,
there's always the aspect of it that, like, well, we're sort of wired this way.
Mm-hmm. Well, that informs everything. You can try to, I think I do, I make an effort to not consider, the history, very recent or even a little more distant as any part of this. Like, I don't really have any time for, don't beat them in the regular season because that means you'll lose in the playoffs or something. Like, I don't buy that. I don't think there's I know it's been true here, 4 times in a row, but I don't think that's like a hard and fast corollary. So I sort of want to dismiss that, but everything is baked in locally. Like, I don't know how much I trust any Bills fan right now to be objective about this. I think there's so much scar tissue from losing to this team over and over and over again in the playoffs that you have really gotten to a point where I don't know. It might be a defense mechanism. I think you're going to find a lot of Bills fans this weekend before the game kicks off. They're like, it doesn't matter that much. They're not ahead of us right now. They're not the one, and the playoffs are all that's going to matter. And I don't know. I don't really have time for that. I want to beat this team. I'd want to beat whoever they were playing on Sunday, but I especially want to see the Bills beat this team because I want to knock them down lower than me. I want to hold them at bay. I want to knock them around if I can. And I don't think knock them around is awfully strong. I don't mean like I think the Bills are going to just manhandle them, but I can hurt them, and I want to do that. And I think any fan should be excited about that opportunity, but I think we're more scared than we are anything else.
Oh, I don't want to be scared.
I don't either. I hate who likes being scared.
That's the other side of the coin with this game, though, is like you're not dead if you lose.
That's
like,
right.
There's not really that much reason to be worried. Joe Ostrowski came on yesterday and made fun of us, or maybe it was just me. And then he doubled down this morning on like the idea that you could really injure Kansas City. No? I mean, he thought it was cute to say that. They'll be in the playoffs. Do they have to be in the playoffs? I know what they look like. I'm watching them too.
Right.
And I know the history as well as you do. But do they have to be? Like, how many losses can you withstand in the AFC this year? We didn't really, pin it down. And you can't even do that.
Right.
But I kind of think that with the schedule they have left, Denver, Indianapolis, after this game in the next 3 weeks, do they have to not be 6-5 out of that?
I don't think anybody has to make the playoffs at this point. I mean, maybe Indianapolis has to because they're 7-1. But I don't feel like the Bills have to make the playoffs.
Right.
I mean, they looked meek losing to New England and to Atlanta, and to me, at any given week, any opponent, they could have that crop up again. So, and I would say the same goes for Kansas City. I think we tend to believe, and maybe this is true in the case of both teams, although I think when it comes to the Bills, I think Bills fans themselves are a lot quicker to, I've got this fault and that fault and this is wrong and I don't know if I trust it and is my coach going to freeze or whatever, right? You got all this stuff that's built up, and that's why the past informs the mindset moving forward. The Chiefs look great right now, but they're what are they? They're just a couple of bad weeks away from almost being buried. So, and to me, any team can have that week. So I know what they look like right now. The Chiefs look like a wagon to me. They look like the best team in the league. But I don't know that means they are definitively some super team that just can't be touched. They might look like the best right now, but that could change. That could change in a week. That could change in 3 weeks. That could change in 2 months. It always can. So I want to damage them. I have a chance to ding them. And then, we'll have to see what else happens when they play Indianapolis and whoever else you just said.
Denver,
thank you.
It's Bills, bye, at Denver, Colts.
And then another Denver still, right? They've got two more Denvers. So
two more Denvers.
Two more Denvers. So that's, I don't know. I don't feel, even you this week, game of the year is week 15, Bills-Patriots. Sort of downplaying this matchup. And, sure, I think that game looms because the Patriots are ahead of the Bills. But this is still, to me, the Bills and the Chiefs, and I have a chance to kind of cool them off a little bit. And if it's true that we're all sort of waiting for some sort of affirmation that they're still the Bills, like the Super Bowl caliber Bills or something, a great way to affirm that for everyone, at least for a week, is to go out and have the performance of the year against this team. And it probably will take that to beat them.
You're right.
The Bills, I don't think, they're not going to be able to afford uncharacteristic turnovers like they did in their 2 losses. I don't think they're going to be able to afford their quarterback throwing for 180 yards. And I don't think they're going to be able to afford, leaving receivers uncovered and wide open while Mahomes scrambles away from Joey Bosa and everybody else and just completes passes to guys who look like they're running free through a pasture. Like, none of that is going to be good enough on Sunday. So they're going to have to be buttoned up. And I think us all seeing them perform that way would really be healthy.
FanDuel -1.5, 52.5. So 27, 25.5 would be that those implied totals. The passing yards for this game, as I scroll, there are only like 1,000 options on most passing yards. Oh, that's just one head-to-head. I'm sorry, I'll get it. What are good numbers for this game? I mean, I'm being intentionally me with the game manager point about Allen. But he is, if he had a different name and you tracked his season, it would make more sense.
You might sooner think that the Colts with the 7-1 record and Jonathan Taylor running like crazy, that Josh Allen's numbers are Daniel Jones's numbers. Like, you would look like, he's probably just doing what he's asked and getting by, and the running game is carrying them. And so, outside of one freak show in the fourth quarter in the opener, they haven't really needed to find the gas pedal in the passing game or in their offense in general. That, of course, ignores the fact that they needed to do that in the 2 losses and couldn't. But, yeah, Allen's it's been modest. And, again, I would really be surprised if this game unfolds in a way where modest is going to get it done.
Yeah, in more ways than one, you might want that.
Yeah.
What would be reassuring for fans other than winning? It would be to see Allen have we walked into the season with a lot of people walked into the season hoping that he wouldn't have to do so much. And that was one of my takeaways from week 1 is look what you needed from him to win one game by 1 point against Baltimore. What you needed just historic stuff. That's right. And then it really hasn't been necessary since, and they're 4-2 since. But they are what they've intended to be. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean that as all bad,
right?
Because Allen does have access to the codes. He could still be able to. You need this to happen, maybe, but you certainly want to think this is true, that he can access the kind of higher limits, the kind of production that will save you if you don't get what you need from James Cook. If you're not winning 40-9 against Kansas City, right, like you were against Carolina. So Allen's number is at FanDuel to go over. Just had it. To go over 225 passing yards plus 138. To go over 250 plus or minus 138. To go over 250 plus 132. So you're probably, if I could find the exact over-under, which I haven't yet, 235, somewhere in there. Mahomes is going to be 25 or so yards higher.
I would expect that, and I would be just sitting here today. I haven't thought to check the weather. Maybe I should, because that can play a factor.
It's okay.
It should be all right.
Today without the rain and wind.
Okay. Well, the wind is really and rain too. Sure. So okay, good. I would be really surprised if under any of that works in a win for the Bills for Allen. Like I just don't expect the Bills defense to hold Kansas. When I don't want to say when do they, because the regular season games have been more modest offensively for the Chiefs. It's in the playoffs when they find their nine yards a play or whatever, with A.J. Klein chasing Travis Kelce around. But I just don't anticipate that you're going to be able to just hand the ball off 25 times and get 200 yards passing and expect to score 30 points and win against this team. I mean, I think they will score on you, and however much you need to either keep up or keep them at bay, I just would expect the passing game to have to function in a way that we really haven't seen it function since opening night.
What'd you think last night?
I think I made the worst pick in the history of picks. The GM got fired this morning. I like Miami to score. What? Just awful. Baltimore, you had it. They're going to announce hey, look, here we are. And suddenly from 2-5, you look at the standings today, and they're one win behind the team in first place.
Yeah, it was. If you watched Monday night's game, the Chiefs and Commanders, it was very much like that, I thought, where the game didn't have to be Baltimore's game for the first hour.
Yeah, Miami was all right at the start. It's just they didn't convert and, turn the ball over and, but it still was, gettable. And then just, I missed the third and fourth Baltimore touchdowns.
Oh.
So by the time I dipped out at halftime, the time I got back, it was 28-6. And it's okay, the lights out here. Like, if I wake up and see 35-28 Miami, I'll be blown away. Just did not expect it to happen. Yeah, I think that's a good comparison, because that's how Monday's game was. It's like the underdog was punching, and they were sort of in it, and then
the Chiefs turned the ball over in that game to spite themselves, but then eventually stopped doing that and rolled. And the Ravens didn't do that, but the Dolphins did. And there was that one tripping penalty that
probably shouldn't have been a penalty, because the guy actually tripped. The guy who tripped the rusher tripped himself, and I don't know.
But see, that's that's 3D chess. Right. If I just look like I've fallen down and you trip over me, you're still going to trip over me the same way, whether I fell on purpose,
do it or not. Yeah.
Yeah. So Terry McAuley, we're always talking about these TV refs and the whole system, everything, the space ref. That was one, of course, by the way. Is anybody out there yet still not convinced how this really works, other than what they tell you is how it works? Because you got the referee with the earpiece, and he's got whatever he's got on his hands, just waiting. He puts the finger up to wait. Mm-hmm. He's still waiting to hear someone tell him what the call is.
What should I do here?
There's no challenge flag.
Right.
There's nothing in the rules about that a penalty like that would be reviewed. But he's got his finger up. He's waiting. He's not thinking.
Yep.
No one's talking to him, in person. Somebody's telling him what it's going to be. That's how it is, and there's nothing more to say about it. Anybody that tells you certain calls can't be made remotely or anything, that's just all crap. This is how it works. And I will say again, at this opportunity, the league should just admit it, because I think most fans would accept it. Because fans want penalties that are egregiously bad to be changed.
Right.
And so if the league could just there's some maybe political reason why they won't with the officials. but that's what they should just do for transparency.
Yeah.
They won't.
I don't want to tell on myself as not having a mastery of the NFL rule book. Like I even need to mention this disclaimer, but I love how this sport can continue to present scenarios where you're watching in your living room and I'm not sure what should happen
every
here.
game.
Should he clearly we can tell, I can understand the officials maybe not recognizing it in real time that this guy has slipped and lost his footing, but like you said, the outcome is still the same as if he had done it intentionally, so should it still be a penalty? Am I supposed to officiate this guy, Ollie Gordon's intent? I mean, he didn't mean to do it, therefore it's not a foul. I don't think that's how that works. If I don't mean to hit the ball carrier with the crown of my helmet, but I do, I'm getting penalized.
Good point.
So but I saw the backlash, and I didn't hear McCauley's comments myself, but I saw a reference to them.
He said it shouldn't have been a penalty.
Right.
Which he does. He is the most contrarian of all those guys. He has a way of talking that makes me think he just does not want to be there. And he'll just, that's a bad call. Because you kind of think, wouldn't you just sort of like, all else equal, expect the TV ref to side with the refs?
That's what I usually expect.
There used to be one.
Yes.
They're in the fraternity.
They don't want to make anyone look bad, especially the league overall.
Al, that's a terrible call.
I don't know. Maybe that's because he's on Amazon Prime, and they're new. They're still a little rogue or something. Like,
Maybe.
They're paying so much, the league wants them, so I can get away with this.
I feel like he's a little bit Henry Hill.
Okay.
He's just going to be,
Yep.
You know what? You never see him either.
Right.
He's sort of he's in an apartment somewhere. Remember how Henry Hill, the guy from Goodfellas,
Right, thinking the
actual
helicopters
person,
are flying around.
He would never say where he is, and McCauley just like, that's bad. Let's just be honest here. I'll give you that. I'll just be honest. I'll tell you it's bad. Well, Chiefs, Sunday. How big is it? How much rides on this game? They each have multiple losses, which makes this different. It's not like last year, the 1 seed. Are the Bills good enough this year to do this? And more importantly, to do the other thing.
Track down Indianapolis, ultimately.
Or just win in the playoffs.
See, like, that's another reason I want to ding the Chiefs. If I want to look at the board from higher or above, right, I would prefer being able to not be conflicted about wanting Kansas City to beat Indianapolis. But if they beat me, then I want to ding them so that when they win that game, that's a trade-off. And that's a trade-off right now that I would consider to be in my favor. I got you. I've got a head-to-head on you. I don't play Indianapolis. Go get them. Because I need someone to beat them a couple times. Realistically, maybe 3 times if I'm going to get there. So go Kansas City when you play Indianapolis. But that takes a hit if they have the same record as me and have me on a head-to-head. So get it in your pocket and then, let them go do their thing, hopefully, when they play Indianapolis, because somebody's going to have to beat them if the Bills are going to catch them.
You have the New England problem. That's number 1, right? Win games like this, and maybe you won't end up having that problem. The Patriots are the big one. Patriots and Atlanta Sunday at 1, then Bills and Chiefs 4:25. Patriots home to the Falcons. We will take a break in a moment and then talk to Sam Panayotovich from Bet Sweats. He's got thoughts. Bills are his team.
Right.
And he says it, he sort of prides himself on this, unlike maybe other people in his facility. Not Joe, as far as I know, but I'm not just going to go bet every team. I used to make fun of Jim Rome for that. When I would have to listen to Jim Rome, he would always be changing his picks. Mm-hmm. And wow, good for you. I should just wait until the Super Bowl, then change to the team that's favored in the Super Bowl. What a genius at that. I mean, he's good at other things, but just you can't keep changing your picks.
Yeah.
So I think Sam is good like this, and he's been on the Bills all year, and I don't think he wants to come off them. So we'll talk to Sam. We'll also talk to Alex Gold from the Fan in Kansas City at 4 today. Sal Capaccio joins us with the latest on injuries at 5. There is fantasy stuff if you want it. I mean, DeAndre Swift is out. Ramondre Stevenson is out. Travis Hunter is out a month. IR for Jacksonville. Maybe you had to play him. I mean, there are those. I know of these teams where you wanted to start Travis Hunter, and now he's out. And never forget about the guys who go in for these guys. Kyle Monangai might be sitting on your waivers, Bulldog.
Okay, sure.
If you didn't use all your money on kickers.
I did get a kicker. Whoever Seattle's guy is
Myers.
Yeah, sure.
Bam. Still got it. From Neighbors Pub, Kenmore Avenue, with Sam Panayotovich next. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog Football Friday on WGR. We'll be back in a snap, brought to you by Snapdragon Apples, the official apple of the Buffalo Bills.
someone that can immediately come in and have an impact and make a move.
Cameron Wolfe, the trade deadline is Tuesday, and that's likely to still be on the minds of many fans here, with there still being this, typical game of the year coming up on Sunday. Welcome back to Neighbors Pub in Kenmore. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. We'll have Alex Gold from Kansas City Radio at 4 and Sal Capaccio at 5. Right now with us, as it is Friday at 3:30 Eastern, Sam Panayotovich, Bet Sweats, Odyssey Sports Betting Insider. Sam, you've been mostly, if not entirely, steadfast on your belief in the Bills this year. It's interesting to me, and I know you've talked around this, if not about this week on your show, that they're coming off what kind of probably, at least on paper, looked like a feel-good, we're back kind of win, 40-9. But do the betting markets reflect that? Do you sense that the confidence in the Bills, from your perspective, is any better or greater because of what happened in Carolina?
I feel fine. I'm just jealous that you guys are at the bar without me, if we're being completely honest. That's what I'm.
So doors are open.
Well, it might take me about 7 hours to get there.
Yeah.
You won't be
well,
there.
You did, just so you know,
might.
just to paint a little picture for you did miss a tray of Jell-O shots just as we were starting our
Several.
show. So, that's the vibe here.
FOMO is real. I also would like to make a side bet that Alex Gold takes the Chiefs in the game. We can talk about that later, too. Look, I love when people are so confident in a bet, generally speaking. You ask 10 people outside of Buffalo who's winning this game, you're going to hear Chiefs 8 or 9 times. And those are the spots that I just salivate about as a bettor, because as we know, the chandeliers didn't build themselves, as my dad famously says in Vegas. When it looks so easy, it never really is. And if you go back, let's just go back a calendar year. When the Chiefs and Bills are playing in Orchard Park, Buffalo's a 2.5-point favorite last year. Same two teams for the most part, mostly the same rosters, same coaches, same quarterbacks. And now the Chiefs are favored by 2. I get they've been playing well, but Buffalo also scored 40 last week. So I don't know, guys. I think these two teams are about equal on a neutral, and I give Buffalo about 3 points for home field. So from a numbers standpoint, I like the Bills. From a narrative standpoint, people are going to like the Chiefs, though, because they've won 4 out of 5. They're scoring 30 points per game over that span, and the Chiefs' offense is healthy. But these are the games against Mahomes the Bills win, right?
That's right. It's happened, multiple times now that they've gotten this game and not gotten the other. They are basically, I think, the same from your perspective, from the betting perspective. For us, I think it's, Rashee Rice is back and healthy, and Xavier Worthy is now, established as a weapon, whereas when they met last year in the regular season, he had really not blasted off yet. Kelsey looks sort of reborn, and so there's stuff. I think last year the Chiefs looked like a wounded animal all year, and all they did was keep winning these games that didn't seem like they should win, but they did. This year they got off to a rockier start, but now they look like they're really firing, and I think that's – I don't know if that's reflected by the betting markets are taking that into account, but I know the psyches of Bills fans definitely are.
100%. I think the crowd oftentimes is overplayed in an NFL game, but the Bills crowd needs to be into this thing. I don't want Patrick Mahomes to be able to hear himself think, and that would be nice if Buffalo could strike first. I think their ability to run the ball, though, is enticing. Now, granted, James Cook's not going to run for 200-plus against Kansas City's defense, but you can control the ball against Kansas City. You can. I mean, their defense has been much better against the pass, but if you can keep them guessing, that's the jam. That's how you kind of hang with Kansas City, and then you need your best player to be at his best in the fourth quarter. And I think the Chiefs are obviously solid. They're Super Bowl favorites. But the Bills have the ingredients. I mean, even the playoff losses, which nobody in Buffalo wants to talk about, every game was close except for the first one. Was that 2020 when they won by a couple touchdowns?
Yep.
Like the Chiefs and Bills have been in 9 games together with Mahomes and Allen. 8 of them have been close. So you guys can play with them, and you have the ingredients to win.
The first game is still, for me, the most confusing of them all. Bills were up 9-0 in the COVID AFC Championship, and somehow just completely got blown out after that. I mean, they had just been so good, better than the Chiefs going into that game, and just I don't know what happened there. There is, Sam, within this great modern rivalry, the two quarterbacks and their own head-to-head rivalry stuff, and then the MVP awards and everything like that. I think maybe a lot of us are waiting for Allen to just sort of take over maybe a little bit here. Still within the confines of the offense, not taking as many chances, limit the interceptions. But don't you kind of feel it's narrative street, but here's Mahomes and here's a season where people are asking questions. This could be a day where if you believe in Allen like to the fullest, that he proves to you why you did.
Definitely, and Allen's props have been bet. I can tell you the last couple days we've seen a lot of uptick on the Allen props. The rushing prop has been just destroyed. That number now on Allen rushes is 43.5. It was 39.5 when it opened, so they've been betting it the last 24 to 36 hours. And I don't need to tell you guys, Josh Allen, star player, probably going to bet. People are going to bet overs as we get closer because kickoff is still almost 2 full days away. And I assure you the public is going to be parlaying Allen overs and Allen touchdowns. I hate the touchdown number at plus 105. I was hoping to get a little bit more. I was looking for 125, 130. But, again, people bet Allen. These two quarterbacks have also, taken off a ton on the ground. When they play each other, when Allen and Mahomes go head-to-head, they boogie. The seatbelt light is off and they run. So that's something to pay attention to as well. I also think, guys, this total's a little high at 52.5. I mean, I don't know. 24-23 seems to be my landing score either way. I hope the Bills win. I would love a Bills win. But I think 52.5 is a little high on the total side.
I think the quarterback rushing props, if you didn't exactly say this, reflect what might be desperation in this game. We saw Allen 2 years ago when they got to a point of the season when they might not even make it. Then he just started running like crazy. And you want to think that that's still in him.
Yeah, and I think you can couple that with the Bills' struggles in the passing game and thinking he might be, forget about designed runs, he just might be more prone. We've seen it. I mean, he's scrambling around in this Carolina game, and he didn't have big yardage. He got sacked a few times holding the ball for 10 seconds trying to make something happen. I think he might be more apt to take off and run if he doesn't see something in the first 3 seconds he's standing there in the pocket. So that'll get you some rushing yards.
I really think, guys, the key to the game is can you protect the ball, number one, and can you run the ball? I don't need to come on Buffalo radio and talk about what Allen did against Atlanta and New England. We all know that. It's water under the bridge. But if they can protect the ball and they can run it, they can win this game. Pro Football Focus, I like a lot of their stuff. I also dislike a lot of their stuff, but I think a lot of their gradings are fair. They've got the Chiefs 24th against the run on defense. So if you believe in the metrics, you can run on them, and I believe the Bills have the options to do that.
What is that from? Who's been running on the Chiefs that I've missed? Wasn't Washington, wasn't Vegas. Those were blowouts.
Did Detroit run on them?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. The confounding thing, Sam, I mean, this is a very sort of tried and true footballism, is, why do I want to be good on running the ball, right? Why do I want to have like Sean McDermott's been saying, a two-dimensional offense? I want to be able to do both things. And, when you run the ball well, you should be able to take advantage passing. And that has been the thing that has been lacking. Now, in a game like last week, the Bills will certainly tell you they didn't need to do it. But, those of us sitting back here watching every snap, not just reading the box score afterward, are going to say when they did try to pass, it looked messy. So that's the thing that I think has got most Bills fans kind of psyched out. It's in my head, like, will they have enough juice in a passing game if, they have trouble handling Mahomes and all these weapons that he's got at his disposal now? Can I keep up in the air if I have to?
Who's catching a touchdown for the Bills? You guys got to give me a touchdown score, please. I need it.
I've run cold. I want to make excuses for last night, and I don't think anybody would want to listen to them. But man, so right there, directionally accurate, likely. Ricard.
At least I got Mark Andrews right. Everything else I missed on last night.
Andrews. I mean, he throws 4. Who catches a touchdown? Maybe Shakir. That's a little safe, but there's nobody else I really like. Knox can happen. That's happened against Kansas City. That's going to be a way better price. Anybody come to mind for you?
I think Kincaid is where I would look.
Kincaid?
He has been really effective and dangerous when he's on the field. He's just not on the field that much. That might be health-related. That might just be, they want to do different things. Maybe a combination of both. I don't know. But I would look at Kincaid in the touchdown market myself.
I'm going to do one for each of you. I'm going to do Kincaid at plus 240, and Mike's first guy was Shakir, who you can get at plus 220. I'm going to bet them both individually. Yep. No parlay, Bulldog. Individual.
What's wrong with you?
All you need is one.
Don't you want to lose, Sam?
To make for a small win, you just need one. With Sam Panayotovich. College or pro, or both? What are a couple of your favorite plays for the weekend?
I really like SMU. They're at home against Miami, a team that will be playing its first football game outside the state of Florida tomorrow.
Wow. Yep.
Tomorrow's November 1st, if you weren't aware. So they have not played outside their comfort zone in a long, long time. And Mario Cristobal is a coach that I do respect. I'm a defender of Mario more than most. But his record in November and December is not good at Miami, 4-10, and that's straight up, guys. That's not against the spread. That is straight up. SMU got bet. We saw a couple big 5-figure bets in Vegas. SMU was catching 12 the other day. This number is now 11.5, 10.5. So I like it. Otherwise, guys, I know like it. So that's good enough for me. And then I did bet some 3 on the Raiders. I expect Bowers to just dominate. Yes. And we know Travis Hunter is out for Jacksonville. I don't think the Jags should be favored anywhere by a field goal.
Please be right. You're excited about your fantasy team, I know, from listening. And, you're slipping that in because Joe is definitely not asking you for an update on your fantasy team, but you're slipping that in. You're making do. Man, I feel like I'm making do with 50 Bowers teams, and I'm getting nothing there. So if I could get a second half, I want to think you're right. I'm just never on Jacksonville, and maybe the Raiders off a bye, right? Maybe the Raiders can put something on the field that looks something like a good team. I don't know. I didn't think I was going to end there. I didn't mean to end there. All right.
Thank you for your fully signed confidence, Mike. I appreciate you.
I know.
Going to bat with me on the Raiders.
So
Genty and Bowers, come on.
Sam, what is the Halloween scene like in the Panayotovich neighborhood?
Last year I bought full-size candy bars. The doorbell got rang twice, so I don't know what I'm doing this year. I mean, we got the candy. It's just nobody rings the doorbell anymore. What's wrong with these kids?
You guys should talk about your Halloween experiences. You having all the candy out on the porch.
Well,
is that happening tonight?
No. My oldest son and his girlfriend will be manning the station until I get home. Turns out, Sam, where we are broadcasting from today is about 2 miles from where I live. So I'll get home soon enough to take over. But, yeah, there was a year where I left the bowl on the porch and went to do something around the side of the house and came back, and the bowl, like a bunch of teenagers were fleeing the scene, and the bowl was still spinning. The empty bowl was still spinning. I got cleaned out by one group of 4 teenagers.
Sucks.
To be fair, I would have taken the candy and the bowl when I was a teenager.
Right.
Bulldog's close to home, as he said. He's in costume. He's going to walk home trick-or-treating along the way. So that's the plan.
But we get a lot of traffic, but the weather's supposed to be pretty rank,
Yeah,
like
windy.
rain and wind, and it doesn't sound great, but usually we are really busy. So.
All right. Good luck. At least you have the candy. Thank you, Sam.
All right, gentlemen. Go Bills. Let's get it.
Odyssey Sports betting insider Sam Panayotovich on the West Her Hotline. More on the Chiefs with Alex Gold coming up at 4, about 15 or so minutes away from Neighbors Pub on Kenmore Avenue. Football Friday continues next. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here, WGR. Congratulations to Janet M. Maybe you know her, for being this week's lucky winner of the Football Friday Tailgate Tray Giveaway. You've scored a $300 tailgate tray certificate, Janet, from Alibaba Kebab. We're picking a new winner every Friday. Keep those entries coming at WGR550.com. Fire up your taste buds at any of their 3 locations. Well, I don't want any attention from Sam and Joe next week on the tight end thing. Like
Right.
So
Well, we felt. I mean, Mark Andrews is not exactly Jackson Hawes, so
No.
we did not plumb the depths and find value for anyone out there last night, I guess.
And I was way off Andrews because, I mean, you can't pick them all.
Right.
And part of my likely thinking was that it would be instead of Andrews because he was playing more. But, I mean, did Andrews have even 3 catches, or did he have just the 2 catches?
I never looked at the final stat sheet. I just know he got the 2 touchdowns. And, I mean, the one thing I felt about the game going in was that Jackson would sort of lean on his longtime life preserver, if you will, in Andrews. And, he did early.
I'm sitting there. I've got Likely and Ricard. Ricard is 10 times Likely.
Right.
And Miami fumbles. So here are the Ravens, down 3-0. Miami gets the field goal. Then they get the ball, fumble. And the Ravens are goal to go. And Henry goes to, like, the 1.
Right.
And he can't score from the 1 anymore.
No.
So 2nd and goal from the 1. Ricard is left of Jackson, leaks out to the flat, Likely turns up. I think those are the 2 options for that play. And I'm sitting back in my chair right now as I remember it, and when the play starts, I go up here.
Right.
I go up here, but before once my eyes get back to the quarterback, he's buried.
Right.
The line just completely imploded, probably because they didn't have Ricard and Likely to block. Maybe not a total coincidence.
Right, yeah.
And so now I've got 3rd and goal from the 2. They go incomplete at that point, and then the touchdown on 4th. To Andrews. Still thought I could have a night. And I did one more smart thing that I didn't tweet about, losing on the 2 Ravens, losing on my Dolphins. That was the kind of game, too, for him, Westbrook-Akine, but didn't happen. They never scored a touchdown. When the Sabres were down 2-0, I bet the Sabres at plus 350.
They got close. They did a nice job. Did you sit much with that game, or were you on the football game?
I watched the first period and overtime.
Yeah.
They were much the better team in the first period.
They were the better team all night. It's the first time all year. Well, the goalie let him down in Toronto, but it was Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. It was the first night I would say Lyon, like, hang the L in his locker. A couple of the goals were just pretty sketchy.
I can't wait to talk about that, because that never should have happened. You're going to carry 3 goalies and only play one of them.
Right.
Guess what?
Imagine that. Right?
Imagine that.
Yep.
Not serious.
Yeah. They're best guys, man. We don't know that overtime play. Dahlin gets all the heat for falling down. I would love to know what Tage Thompson thought he was accomplishing on the winning play. Just charging at the puck carrier
After
there
Dahlin
with
falls.
Dahlin already on his face in the zone. Like, you got to peel off and just play the 3-on-2 and hope Dahlin gets back. And, like, but instead, he just charges into the fire. And, like, dude, it's not – he is excellent at a lot of things. Thompson mostly scoring beautiful goals and just hammering one-timers 100-plus miles an hour. He is not the most heady player. He is on the wrong side of a lot of pucks. And I'll bet he drives Lindy nuts because he just does not make good choices often enough in moments like that.
He doesn't want him to play center.
Really tough. Right.
Says it all, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah, I love a great bet that loses, or 3 or 4 at a given night. Love
Right.
being right, thinking I was right, and still not winning. That's my brand. Alex Gold on the Chiefs after sports here on WGR.
Couple of players going to be down for the Bills this Sunday when they do host the Kansas City Chiefs. Defensive tackle Daquan Jones, wide receiver Josh Palmer, and linebacker Shaq Thompson. And then Taron Johnson, he is going to be questionable after picking up a groin injury earlier today in practice. Before the practice today, we did hear from head coach Sean McDermott, gave some other notes on some of the injured players, including safety Taylor Rapp, who had surgery on his knee and may be out for the rest of the season. And then Gabe Davis is not going to be activated from the practice squad this week. The Barnes Firm Injury Report, it is brought to you by the Barnes Firm. Injured for help? Call 1-800-8-MILLION. Pre-game coverage on Sunday is going to get underway at 11 a.m. We'll carry you all the way to kickoff at 4:25, where we'll then hand the baton over to Chris Brown, Eric Wood, and Sal Capaccio, who will be on the call for the Northwest Bank broadcast booth. Changes beginning in Miami. Chris Greer is out as general manager, a position he has held in Miami since 2016. Champ Kelly is going to serve as the interim, and then Mike McDaniel is expected to stay on as head coach for the remainder of the season. Jaguars rookie Travis Hunter being placed on IR. He's out for at least the next 4 games after suffering a non-contact knee injury yesterday at practice. Washington quarterback Jaden Daniels is set to start Sunday versus Seattle, and the NFL has fined Baltimore $100,000 for violating the league's injury report policy. Then at 8 p.m. tonight, Game 6 of the World Series. It's in Toronto, and the Blue Jays, they can clinch their first title since 1993 with a win tonight. Yoshinobu Yamamoto and Kevin Gausman on the bump tonight. And join WGR and Bud Light for a Buffalo Football Friday happy hour. Schopp and Bulldog are currently broadcasting live until 7 p.m. At Neighbors Pub, 337 Kenmore Avenue. Come stop by. You'll have a chance to win a Josh Allen jersey. No purchase necessary, and you can enjoy some other Football Friday live broadcasts coming up at Leo's and at Mitchell's. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly, 21 plus. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
All right, what's the report from outside?
I was outside for maybe 3 minutes. I counted 8 Q-tips. It's got to be one person that just throws their Q-tips out the window when they're done using them in their cars.
It's Mike Schopp.
One person?
More than one person using Q-tips and throwing them outside?
I don't think I use 8 Q-tips in a year.
I think I've never used 8 Q-tips.
And the Bulldog.
What the hell is going on out there? I don't think I want to work in a place where people like roll their windows down if they're using Q-tips for Lord knows what and just throw them on the ground.
Well, you do.
What, is it the 70s?
Oh, that's not very nice.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
Driving on the highway 65 miles an hour. I get a little left in my soda from the fast food drive out the window. That was the 70s. Who gives an F about anything?
Throw a burrito out the window.
Nothing matters. 2025, what are you doing?
On WGR.
Throwing Q-tips out of your car.
Sports Radio 550.
Football Friday from Neighbors Pub on Kenmore Avenue. I'm not the only one in shorts.
No, you got company. Yeah, a couple of dudes in here rocking shorts. One, this guy might be a Halloween costume, though. I'm not really sure what it's supposed to be, but whatever. Yeah,
Mine is not.
There are people wearing shorts.
I'm here as me.
Yeah.
For Halloween this year. Yes. Injury report. It's still concerning. Now it's Taron Johnson.
Yeah.
Questionable groin.
Uh-huh.
You don't want to hear that on a Friday?
You got to start holding these guys out of practice.
Stop practicing altogether.
Stop practicing.
No more practice.
No, don't do that. Don't do that anymore.
I mean, Prater is still listed the same as limited, and was he even questionable? I don't think he was. He doesn't have a game status. Maybe he's just old.
That means
game status is he's old.
And that means that he's kicking on Sunday.
Probably, yes.
Yeah.
I think he would have to at this point be planned to be kicking on Sunday at this point if this is how they're going to list him.
Well,
this is Friday.
That's what I mean. Yeah, right. Yeah, that feels pretty definitive. I mean, I guess it could still unravel. I don't know. We'll talk to Sal in an hour and find out if there was any update on Tyler Bass. I didn't see any reference to it. There was a lot today during McDermott's brief appearance, I think, with Sal, so maybe they didn't even get to it. Unless he told them, Prater's fine, he's going to kick, which I don't know. I saw the guys that are ruled out, and Prater is not among them, so no game status should be encouraging for him to kick, I think.
And, yeah, no Davis. That was announced this morning, too. So there goes that idea. Okay, I mean, you were right on that. Didn't think it would be this week.
Oh, Gabe Davis. I'm thinking about Ray Davis, who missed practice earlier this week, sick. But I'm like, wait, what happened to him? Yeah, Gabe Davis. Yeah, there was. It's not. Yeah, there was. He tweaked something already. Like, he just got back to practice. They pulled him off of that IR and put him on the actual practice squad, and yeah, that went up in smoke. So, yeah, no Gabe Davis. So status quo at receiver for now.
Johnson is not good news, and here I'm about to probably overreact because it's just they maybe sometimes don't, but they're supposed to list anybody who comes up with something during practice, and I think for the most part at least they're honest about it. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to overreact to this. Taron Johnson, he's getting old too. It's been we had it with Hyde and Poyer. And he's been in and out, concussion stuff.
Had it with Milano.
Yep. Deadline is Tuesday. I was asked in Kansas City, and Alex Gold is scheduled to join us here. I was on his show 2 hours ago, but I guess we don't have him yet. What this game might mean to the trade deadline. Mm-hmm. I don't know that it has to mean anything. I think if they're great on defense or even offense too against the Chiefs, that could take the edge off for the deadline. But if they're not great, I could see them thinking they have the same issues as they already may have thought. I mean,
yeah, I definitely agree that it shouldn't. If Brandon Beane has spent the last week or 2 weeks or 2 months, I don't know, preparing for Tuesday, sort of having preliminary conversations hey, if I have an interest in this guy, what are we looking at, kicking tires, that kind of thing. I would not want one football game, regardless of how good it looks. Keon Coleman has a great game, right? Keon Coleman has the Gabe Davis against the Chiefs game in the 21 playoffs.
Well,
all right, that's insane. That's too much of an exaggeration, but has a good game. Do I then think, I'm all set at receiver? I don't know. It's one game. He looked good for the fourth quarter against Baltimore, and it's kind of fallen off a cliff since then. I wouldn't want to trust one good game. If I think I need a receiver, I think I'm still going to think I need a receiver. Not, that's not going to be quenched by, having a good game against the Chiefs on Sunday myself.
Yeah, I wonder what could change anything here this week. Alex Gold with us from Kansas City. Been a long time. Nice talking to you again, finally, Alex.
Yeah, I know. We just don't talk enough. If only we had some big football games over the last couple of years to talk about.
I told him on his show with Cody today that I think, here it's got to be maybe some function of what kind of show you're doing. But we, maybe call Alex every other month during the off season. Not quite every month. There's a Kansas City obsession here. It's they're to blame for how the Bills have not gone farther, and they never call me. And I do not take that personally, but I don't think they're worried about us.
No, when you've got 3 championships, you don't have to worry about the team that's chasing you. You're out front, hanging out, enjoying the view.
I was on today. They called today because of this game on Sunday.
Look,
Alex, what? Go ahead.
That is true. I will say, and you know this, in the summertime, unless there's something, massive that happens trade-wise, probably involving the Bills, we do a lot of baseball talk in the summer here in Kansas City with the Royals, and so we don't really go too deep into everybody else in the NFL until we get, to game week. It's nothing personal, I promise.
No, I know. You would never have me back if it were personal. What's your attitude about this week's game?
Right. Go ahead. Fine.
Look, I think it's interesting because if it wasn't for the fact that the Chiefs had 3 losses and a Broncos team leading their division, I would say probably, all right, well, this game, it doesn't mean a whole lot. The Bills can win the regular season. That's what they do. And then Chiefs fans will key in and say, well, come playoff time, that's what matters. I think there's still some of that thought here, but at the same time, the Chiefs do have 3 losses. They got a Broncos and Chargers team in front of them in the AFC West. obviously on the Bills side, you guys are dealing with the Patriots being atop the division. And so this is a game, I think it's early to say must win. Well, must win for the number one seed conversation, I think. But I don't know if it's still must win even for the division for either teams. So it's a massive game because of both teams, being in a spot maybe they're not as used to, where usually one of them's undefeated, the other might have one loss. Instead, it's a 3-loss and a 2-loss team.
Yeah, maybe a little more urgency on the Buffalo side of this, Alex, because the Bills have already lost once head-to-head to the team that's in first place, the Patriots, whereas the Chiefs have still got 2 games left with the Broncos.
Yeah, I think that's fair. The Chiefs have, at this point, the one loss to the Chargers. Nobody in Kansas City takes the Chargers as seriously. I think there's the Broncos. People want to see a little bit more for them, and people view the Broncos as the second-best team. So the Chiefs have a little bit more runway, I guess, with what people perceive to be their biggest challenger in their division versus what you guys were just talking about there with the Patriots.
With Alex Gold. So the Chiefs have looked fine here recently after a tougher start. Is it as good as it has looked in these last couple of weeks with Worthy and then Rice back? And now you have the Pacheco loss. I wonder if you think that'll mean a lot.
So I think it has been as good as people see when they just look at a box score and they just look at some of the stats over the last couple weeks. And, over the last 3 weeks, I think they're the number 3, number 4 offense in football and points per game. They're an offense now that is also ultra aggressive. And I think that is the part that everybody's most excited about here. Yes, having Rice back is huge, and he's their yards after the catch guy, and the offense runs through him, and Mahomes is locked in. But in the past, even in years when they've been a 15-win team, when they've gone to Super Bowls, the big question always was Andy Reid's aggressiveness, and would he be able to keep the foot on the gas on fourth downs and not play a little more conservative. And this year, guys, they already have 10 fourth down conversions. No team in the first 8 weeks of the season has ever reached that mark, since they've tracked that, since 2000 or so. The only teams that have got to 9 were the Eagles last year and the Eagles in 2022, and we all know they do the tush-push. So, yes, I think it's real, and the aggressiveness on fourth down is a huge part of it. I mean, it's kind of this cheat code that Andy Reid has unlocked that, what took so long to recognize that you got the best quarterback in the world, and you maybe should force teams to stop you on fourth downs, and it's very difficult to do that. And on the flip side, they are not giving up many fourth down conversions. They're only giving up 20% on fourth downs on defense. So everything is definitely real, but you brought up Pacheco. As far as that goes, yeah, he's been much better the last 3 weeks. They've kind of got this true running by committee complementary run game going where they're pacing run-wise to have their best backfield since 2015. So the best in the Mahomes era. But it's not like Pacheco is anywhere near the back, obviously, James Cook is. They've just been able to find a role. Pacheco is really effective as kind of a bit more of the bell cow. Kareem Hunt, short yardage, one of the best in football. In fact, the best in football in short yardage. And then they got a rookie in Brashard Smith who is explosive. They're slowly integrating him. The stats are not going to jump out yet, but if you guys watch him carry the football or catch it, more importantly, I think at times, you'll see why fans are excited. So I do think they lose something without Pacheco. The thought here is that the rookie is going to be asked to do a little bit more, and we'll see if that is something he can shoulder.
Interesting point on fourth downs. I watched only the second half of the Monday night game, but when they got to fourth and goal at the 2, after a third down incompletion at 7-7, I'm like, they're not going to go for this. But they did and scored on that, so probably the right call by the numbers. Just don't always see Kansas City do it. I've got them at 14 for 17 on the season on fourth down. So, yeah, that's something to watch for. So what's your impression, Alex, of the Bills at this stage? I mean, of course, we all know the history and the history together very well. I think, I referred to the betting markets when talking to you earlier. I think for them to lose 2 games and lose the lead in the division, then have a bye and come out of it and win 40-9 against a team that, it's Carolina, but they were also 4-3. That didn't really seem to impress anybody in terms of the spread, or I would say that, Bulldog, about our audience.
For sure.
It has not been, all is well kind of a week.
Yeah, no, and look, admittedly, I wasn't impressed, mainly because the Andy Dalton part of the equation with being the Carolina Panthers. I mean, look, heading into the game, I said on my show, we were discussing, how we even feel about this Bills game coming up, and I said, I want to see what they look like against Carolina. They solve some things defensively, but then once you find out it's Andy Dalton and you watch the game, it's like, how much can I take away defensively from what they did? Now, offensively, I mean, I think anybody sleeping on Josh Allen is making a massive mistake. I think people have done that the last couple of years on Mahomes, and usually it comes back to bite them in the you-know-what. So I think people have to be very careful in Kansas City if they are suddenly discussing Josh Allen like he's still not that dude. To me, he's easily the second-best quarterback in football. James Cook, I think everybody understands who he is. I think here in Kansas City, people aren't as worried on the ground, though, I must admit, about Cook, just because they have, to this point, handled Saquon, handled Derrick Henry, handled Ashton Genty. I can go on and on and on. They've done a really good job against top backs. My worry more about Cook is in the passing game, and I don't know how you guys talk about him there. I think that's the area the Chiefs are vulnerable, that James Cook in the flat against some of these linebackers for Kansas City. I think that is an area they can have success. And then the area we always know in these games, Josh Allen with his legs. The Chiefs have struggled against quarterbacks that can run, and nobody can run better than Josh Allen that they faced this year. And that's an area where Trevor Lawrence has got them a little bit. So that'd be a concern. But I must say, defensively, that's where how I've talked about the Bills this week, at least in Kansas City, is so different over the last couple of years. I don't think that defense is good at all in Buffalo. And I think it's the worst defense that, since we've been doing these radio hits, since Patrick Mahomes has been around, that he's faced in this Bills rivalry. Now, maybe they have their A game, and that happens a lot in these type of games where the Bills defense maybe puts together their best performance. I just don't see it. You guys know the injuries that exist better than I do there on top of it. And so I think Kansas City offensively is going to be very, very difficult to stop. And is Josh Allen capable of going toe-to-toe? Look, I think he has shown in his career he can. I just think the defense in Kansas City is quite a bit better than the Bills, and so even if you're talking about one more stop, I think that's enough.
Well, there's a lot there. If the Bills were to feature James Cook or any running back in the passing game on Sunday against the Chiefs, it would be the first time this season that it's happened. Cook has caught a total of 12 passes. He barely exists in the passing game. And their third down back, Ty Johnson, I think has 2 receptions on the year, or maybe 3.
Wow.
They're just not featuring that at all. Now, I don't know, maybe someone driving around in their car right now on their way to happy hour is hoping the Bills have been squatting on that all this time until they can spring it on the Chiefs, but I don't know, man.
Or someone who's been sitting here at happy hour since
since we got here, yeah. The passing offense in general has been a real sore spot here for the Bills. So if they do need to sort of get in a gunfight with the Chiefs, I think a lot of Bills fans would be sort of curled up in a ball hoping they can get through it.
It's the most confidence, I can tell you, from Chiefs fans going into one of these matchups in a while. Chiefs fans have, picked them to win these playoff games and things like that, and, we know the history there. But I think for a regular season game, just based off of a lot of this is, you asked Chiefs fans a month ago, of course, different feeling. The offense wasn't rolling and all that. But with the way the Chiefs are playing and knowing some of the injuries there defensively, I think a lot of folks in Kansas City are very, very confident in how they're going to perform on Sunday and get a win.
How about injury stuff with the Chiefs, Alex? And even non-injury stuff, right? The left tackle, Simmons, is he still not around and not expected to play? And what about the rest of the injury report there?
So as far as Josh Simmons is the top pick in the draft for the Chiefs, he's still away from the team. He's definitely not playing. There's some talk maybe after the bye he'll at least be back with the team. It's a very strange scenario, quite honestly. We still don't know exactly what is going on. Everybody kind of has a little bit of a rough idea, but nobody has enough information, frankly, to really throw it out there.
Yep.
It's a family matter, but also they've been misleading on that at times, so he's not going to play. Jalen Moore, who they signed in the offseason before they drafted Simmons, just in case they couldn't get Simmons or he wasn't healthy, has done a very nice job actually filling in. He had a rough first drive against Washington, I would say, on Monday Night Football, but It seems like they feel pretty good with Jalen Moore there. Other injuries on the O-line, Trey Smith, they believe he's headed in the right direction to play on Sunday. He did not play last week with some back spasms, lower back injury, and for an offensive lineman, you always wonder if that's something that lingers. I think, is there a chance it still pops up tomorrow morning or something? Sure, it's a back injury, but it looks like he'll play. And then the right tackle, Juwan Taylor, he's healthy. He's been a huge story for a couple of years with being the most penalized player in football and lining up wrong and all this. He's been one of the best right tackles in football the last 4 weeks. He's not getting penalized, and so that's a huge development. And then other injuries, for Kansas City, we already mentioned Pacheco. They will get Hollywood Brown for this game. He was sick earlier in the week, and looks like he's going to be fine.
Alex, one more. Just whenever we have these conversations during the regular season, of course in the playoffs, it would be like this. These are the two top teams, or two of the top three, or four even, I guess, back to the Bengals, moments. But now you've got Denver, New England, of course, Indianapolis. You don't have to, you can keep this short because we've kept you a while, but is your perspective on the AFC, the Chiefs, or even the Bills' chances different than usual?
Not yet. Not yet it's not, because I want to see what Indy does, quite honestly, guys, against the Chiefs in a couple weeks. I've been called a Colts hater in town and everything. I admittedly, probably have been hating on the Colts a little bit. I'm still not convinced when we talk postseason football, guys, and I got Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. Is Daniel Jones really, he's going to be the guy that emerges between the two of them? I know there's always outliers. Maybe it's one of those years. I think the Colts would have to come in and beat Kansas City at Arrowhead in a couple weeks for me to obviously change my tune on that. New England, I love what I'm seeing from Drake May. I don't think necessarily in year two he's going to just leapfrog Mahomes and Allen, but to me, they are a little bit more real offensively. I think their defense has a ways to go. And then Denver, it's the opposite. I don't know about their offense and Bo Nix. For 3 quarters, he'll look poor, and then he'll have an amazing fourth quarter. We know what their defense is capable of. So if I had to rank out like how much I trust these other teams outside of Kansas City and Buffalo, I guess I would trust Denver the next most. Then it would probably be almost a tie between Indy and New England. I can't get past the Daniel Jones part of it, guys. I really can't. I want to see a team shut down Jonathan Taylor if they can, or hold him down. What happens if Daniel Jones has to go truly win a football game in the fourth quarter in January? And I just don't believe that's going to happen.
Love it. And they are in Kansas City in 3 weeks. Bye week at Denver, and then the Colts are what the Chiefs have after this one. Not to rush you. Alex, thanks as always. I was happy to be on with you today, and we always love having you on here.
Hey, thanks, guys. We'll talk in January.
That's a date. Alex Gold
is probably right
from Kansas City. I want to say something about the Colts. Can we fit this in at some point?
It's only 4:25. Yeah, we got all kinds of time.
All right.
Yeah.
I do have Colts thoughts,
right.
Even though they're not even on our schedule.
Right.
803-0550 to call in. We're at Neighbors Pub, Kenmore Avenue, Football Friday on WGR. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog will be back in a snap, brought to you by Snapdragon Apples, the official apple of the Buffalo Bills.
Chiefs this Sunday. Defensive tackle Daquan Jones, wide receiver Josh Palmer, and linebacker Shaq Thompson. And then the only other game day designation is cornerback Taron Johnson. He is questionable after picking up a groin injury earlier today at practice. Some other notes from before practice from head coach Sean McDermott. Safety Taylor Rapp had surgery on his knee. He may be out the remainder of the season. And then wide receiver Gabe Davis not going to be activated from the practice squad this week. The Barnes Firm Injury Report, it is brought to you by the Barnes Firm. Injured for help, call 1-800-8-MILLION. Pre-game coverage on Sunday is going to get underway at 11 a.m. We'll carry you all the way to kickoff at 4:25. We'll hand the baton over to Chris Brown, Eric Wood, and Sal Capaccio, who are going to be on the call from the Northwest Bank broadcast booth. And do stay tuned. Sal's going to join the show in about a half hour at 5 p.m. Changes being made in Miami. Chris Greer out as general manager, the position he has held since 2016. Champ Kelly's going to serve as the interim, while Mike McDaniel, he is expected to stay on as head coach for the remainder of the season. Mac Jones gets the start again at quarterback for San Francisco. They take on the Giants this Sunday. Jaguars rookie Travis Hunter's being placed on IR, going to miss at least the next 4 games after suffering a non-contact knee injury yesterday at practice. And the NFL has fined Baltimore $100,000 for violating the league's injury report policy. And then tonight in baseball, 8 p.m., Game 6, World Series in Toronto. Blue Jays can clinch their first title since '93 with a win tonight. That is your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
I mean, they don't like us. I mean, that's pretty. They do not like the Chiefs. But I mean, it is a cool environment. I love playing in like historic stadiums. I mean, that stadium has had so many great players play in it, and who knows, it might be the last time that we get the opportunity to play there. It'll be a great challenge for us, and they're loud, and that's what you want. You want to go in and be in a hostile environment. That's what football, when you watch on TV as a kid growing up, is the environments you want to play in. And so obviously they're not rooting for us, but you get to bond together as a team and get to go into a historic stadium and play in a great environment.
All right. A couple of interesting things there, I think. Patrick Mahomes. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog live from Neighbors Pub, 337 Kenmore Avenue, here for our Buffalo Football Friday happy hour, thanks to Bud Light. We have a chance for you to win a Josh Allen jersey and other prizes. No purchase necessary. We'll also be doing live broadcasts coming up in the next few weeks at Leo's and at Mitchell's. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly, 21 plus.
And I want to add in that someone that comes here today and scans for the chance to win this Josh Allen jersey will win. We've got a Josh Allen jersey for each one of these appearances we're making. So this is one of these deals where you're going to come here today, and then we're going to go to like 5 other places over the next couple of weeks, and this is, a finite number of people. Today only someone that scans will win that jersey, and then same for these other appearances. So, your odds are better that way. So come on down.
There's a Halloween party in here tonight. Scarioke.
Oh, really?
What you do, easy game. You come, you win the Allen jersey, and you go as Allen for Halloween. Boom. Done.
That will not be presented during our show.
But you can't do that today.
Right.
I was about to say next year you can wear it. Two interesting things from Mahomes.
Does
there.
Scarioke mean you have to sing like Halloween themed? Like, I got to sing the Monster Mash? There's better Halloween songs than that, probably, right?
I don't know. Thriller.
Every Day is Halloween by Ministry.
You're not gonna.
I don't see anyone doing that at karaoke.
You're not going to sing Thriller at karaoke
no,
either.
Right.
That's tougher.
Yes, it is.
What about the Purple People Eater song? I don't know the words. Brown-eyed, blue-eyed, whatever that.
Yeah, I know the rhythm of it, but I don't know the words.
But you know the tune.
Yes, I know the song. That should qualify. I don't know if it is a Halloween song, but it should.
Sheb Woolley.
What's that now?
Sheb Woolley is the singer.
That's the musical artist.
And he's in Hoosiers.
All right. What?
He is like the teacher or the mayor. He's got a sort of like mid-roll in Hoosiers.
Is he in the barbershop at some point? Probably.
I don't know.
Everybody's in the barbershop. That's where everybody.
He's sort of like a nice guy, older.
All right.
Quite older. He's, Norman Dale, right?
Yep.
Has these. He has enemies just by being Norman Dale. There are people trying to take him down.
Sure.
The Sheb Woolley character is not one of them. He sympathizes with Gene Hackman's character.
He's a Norman Dale defender.
He's a Norman Dale guy.
Yeah. Big Norman Dale guy.
He's a big Norman Dale guy. And he is the singer of the Purple People Eater song.
Right. Wow.
I'm telling you.
The information. This show is still free?
I mean, I don't know if it is today. But normally. Two things interesting about the Mahomes clip, I thought. One, I feel like this might be even more interesting to me, but I'll use it first. One is it might be our last time playing there.
Yeah.
He isn't going to just, smart move. He isn't just going to say it's our last time playing there.
Right.
Because if he does, he knows someone will be like, well, how do you know that?
Yeah, right. Bulletin board.
They've been here for the playoffs. They played 5 times,
yep,
or four times in the playoffs. Just sort of an interesting intuition there to say it might be our last time playing there. I'm not sure anybody else would say that, coming here for a road game. Justin Fields in Week 18 is not going to say it might be our last game there. But by then, they'll be eliminated.
Of course. Right.
Maybe Burrow. I don't know. We'll see what that is. But I like that Mahomes thought to say that. It might be our last time playing there. Mm-hmm. Not that it will be. Also, he used the word to describe the stadium twice. He used the word historic. And I don't think I've ever thought about that word for the stadium. But I get it.
Yep.
It's 50-plus years.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 30, right? So he grew up, I don't know if he grew up in Texas, right, Mahomes?
Mm-hmm. Well, yes.
When he's a teenager, I want to sort of line up the Chiefs playing the Bills in the Kelly years, but I think it might be too long ago.
Yeah, no,
it's too long ago.
Yeah, he's not around for that. I don't.
But since he's been an adult, or in his career at least, the Bills have been a top rival.
Yeah, referring to it as a historic venue, it's a nod, even though he wasn't around for it. That it's had some pretty great days, and some historic teams, including the ones that he keeps beating. But he's recognizing the era that predates his birth, which I appreciate. And you're right. I don't know. I think for all of the embracing that there is of the stadium in its last year, and fans are enjoying that. And I went to a game as a fan for the first time in 25 years, back in week 3, because it's the last year and I wanted one more go round. Historic. I think it's one of these things that if you've lived with something, no, that doesn't really work, because people who go to Fenway Park 10 times a year know it's historic.
That's the kind of place where I would think to use that word. Or Wrigley.
Right. Or maybe even Lambeau. Versus, Ralph Wilson or New Era Field. I don't.
Football is different than baseball.
Yeah.
Dodger Stadium, I think, is there.
Yeah.
Dodger Stadium is like the 3rd oldest stadium. But look at it.
I mean, it looks like a great place to go sit.
It doesn't look new, but it doesn't look old.
Yep. The backdrop helps a lot too. I mean,
love a backdrop.
The mountains and everything, it just looks so great.
Yeah, I mean, how many active? I should know. I could look this up. How many active NFL stadiums are 20-plus years old? Well, his is. Arrowhead is.
Yeah. Yeah, Arrowhead is the same era as the Bills Stadium, and kind of looks it. I mean, they've redone it. The Bills have done work on their place too, but I feel like the Chiefs have more recently even done that. And now there's a whole other round of, can we get funding to refurbish, or we got to move to Kansas from Missouri? There's a whole thing going on there. Has been percolating for a couple of years now. Both they and the Royals are looking for funding to upgrade their current situations, and if they don't get it, they may just, move across the border to Kansas. But anyway. Yeah, historic is it's a compliment for sure, and I wonder if Bills fans heard it from someone who's an opponent and a hated opponent, and went, yeah, I guess it is historic. But I sort of had that same reaction. Yeah, all right.
I guess it is.
Yeah,
there aren't many. Soldier Field, Soldier Field and Lambeau Field have had like massive reconstruction,
right?
But they're still the same stadium.
Right. And Chicago is now looking to move again to a different place. Whereas, like Lambeau, I mean, they just keep up. They keep up with the times, and they're never moving.
I'll give you one, and you tell me if you would consider it historic. The Superdome. A little younger than ours. Not much.
Yeah. I think so. I've never been, so I've never seen it in person, right? I mean, but I think it's iconic.
Yeah, okay. Different.
And that it might be adjacent to historic. I don't know. I mean, in certain ways, those can be synonyms if you're talking about a sports venue. But they're also maybe they brand. There's a fork in the road at some point where something that's iconic doesn't have to be historic. I don't know. They're close enough. I think Superdome works, even though Final Fours. I mean, just so many big events, so many Super Bowls. I think it has to qualify, even though aesthetically, I think of it as just like, ugh. But it just, a dome, it just seems so outdated to have a dome that looks like that. Like, that's a dome's dome. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's
like,
a dome's dome.
Dome's dome. Like, Minnesota has a dome. It's incredible, right? The Colts place, Dallas. Like, these are updated, upgraded indoor facilities where, it's just not this concrete monolith, which is really what the Superdome looks like. The Silverdome, and the Silverdome got imploded 20 or more years ago.
They're not even domes. Dallas, Minnesota.
Right.
They're not domes. They just have a roof.
Yeah, right. That's right.
A dome's dome. She's
dome.
A dame's dame.
It's a dome's dome. I like that.
She's a dame's dame. It's a dome's dome. I'm into it.
It's one of those places where when they, if they have the drones outside, for a big college game, the basketball, whatever, it's kind of like, yeah, why bother? I don't know. No. I don't need to see this big silver pimple in downtown New Orleans. Like, I don't know. It doesn't really do anything for me.
Miami looked good last night. That stadium looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Did you hear the Herb Street comment about basically to say that no team has suffered like Miami fans? No fans have suffered?
No, I missed that.
He said, now he might have just misspoken, but he said, he talked about the Dolphins like no team has ever gone longer without winning a Super Bowl. Because he referenced the perfect season. And they show Marino and 72, 73, and he said that. He's like, no team has gone longer without a Super Bowl than Miami. Not like stating a fact, but more just sort of like, wow, this fan base has really suffered. And Al Michaels immediately said, well, Cleveland and Detroit might like a word. I mean,
right.
He just immediately knew teams that have never even been.
Right.
Let alone one.
Right. Yeah, I wonder if he was in his head thinking no fan base that has won one has waited longer to win another one.
I guess.
But,
I don't want to hear it.
Maybe you should have said that then if that's what you wanted to go for. Because, those teams, and Buffalo would like a word too. Like,
whatever he said,
yeah,
I made a point to write down for today that their last playoff win was 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Miami, and they're not about to win one.
And that is, the first step taken today. McDaniel's going to finish out the year. Thoughts and prayers. I've been thinking all since the summer, even the spring, like that was going to implode, and it's imploding. And so the GM is the first crack there. Goodbye to Chris Greer, and McDaniel's got to be on borrowed time. And the quarter, Tua again. It's like 3 weeks in a row. Did you catch the clip of him talking about, I think he's talking about the false start that cost them the long gain early to Waddle. It's like, the Ravens fans, we could hear them and they maybe were messing up my cadence. Which is being sort of, because he's already so buried by things he's been saying that the way that quote, the context that quote is being presented in,
our fans
to me is our fans got overrun by Baltimore fans.
Well, wait till next week.
Right.
The Bills are there next week.
But he is got to be done there. I did see some reporting today like, oh, well, maybe they'll want to keep – they fired the GM. Maybe they'll keep McDaniel on because they think he can fix Tua. Oh, my God. I mean, the whole thing has just got to be cleaned out.
They have the Bills at home next week. Then they go to Madrid to play Washington. They actually quickly play 4 straight home games, which is
one of which is in
never
Spain.
happens, but one is in Spain.
Yeah.
And then after the bye, after that, they host the Saints. From Neighbors Pub on Kenmore Avenue, Mike Schopp and the Bulldog. Sal at 5 here on WGR. Football Friday from Neighbors Pub, 337 Kenmore Avenue. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. You can show up, scan the QR code, have a chance to win a Josh Allen jersey here today. We'll be here until 7. Sal coming up at 5. Injury stuff to talk about, even new from yesterday. You made a comment about our location, how they got the TVs right.
Yes.
I mean, here's how right you are. 3 different TVs, at least that I can see. World Series coverage all day, MLB Network. Breeders' Cup
Right.
all day.
That's a
Live
strong. That is
races.
a very strong play.
And golf. How do you beat it?
What else do you need on a Friday afternoon in November? Well, October.
If you took, say, the golf off, or even the baseball, and put NFL Network or something, I mean, I wouldn't hate you for it.
Right.
But this is, I think this is optimal.
It's all, things are, it looks the way it should look. Yeah, I was telling you, I very early in my radio journey, when I was still working nights at BEN, it was a place that's long gone, but a new sports bar startup on Niagara Falls Boulevard somewhere. I don't even remember exactly where it was. I'm not sure I could point out the building it was in right now. But this is my old nighttime 5-hour show. And like, hey, these folks want to buy, like 2 months worth of Friday night remotes. I'm like, I love that idea. Like, I love the idea of hosting my show in a place for, a regular hang and, like, come watch whatever hockey games, we met with them. Oh, yeah, we can get every game. We got the center ice thing. Yeah, great. And I show up for the first one. And, I start at 6, 7 o'clock, 7:30. It's Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune. And I'm just, like, with my head in my hands. And, of course, the person I met with isn't around, and they're busy, and it's fish fry night, and nobody can. And I'm just like, this is not what I envisioned. This is why when you had that job for a little while, assisting 716, like this is the ground floor scar tissue for me with that, is walking in there and doing my show expecting, Flames Oilers eventually to be on one of the TVs and having like Matlock reruns or something. It's like, what am I doing here?
Plus, you're in a place where you're in a time where people can't watch anything they want at home.
Right, right.
So you would need.
That was the draw for me. Like I was out a lot with that show. It was a big part of my income early on was doing those remotes, and so I was motivated to make it work. But I just was so disappointed about. Can we just do something about and I don't think we got to 8 weeks. Like, I think the plug got pulled before we even made it to the end of the run. It was just not. It just wasn't what they thought maybe from their end, and it certainly was not what I wanted from my end. So
the 716 reference always puts a smile on my face, sitting there with Dominic when they were just opening, and he said, the one thing I don't want is for anybody to walk in here and not understand why what's on the screen is on the screen.
Right.
I was so, in tune with that. Like, you know what? If you want somebody's opinions, I will offer them. Because I've been to so many places where it's Law and Order.
Right.
And you can't hear it anyway. Like, why? It's not trying.
What are we doing here?
Great job, Neighbors Pub.
Yeah.
Sal After Sports on WGR.
3 players have officially been ruled out for the Bills. They get ready to host the Kansas City Chiefs this Sunday. Defensive tackle Daquan Jones, wide receiver Josh Palmer, and linebacker Shaq Thompson, while cornerback Taron Johnson, a new addition to the injury report today, is questionable after appearing to suffer a groin injury today at practice. Some other notes from head coach Sean McDermott from earlier today. Safety Taylor Rapp had surgery on his knee, and he may be out for the remainder of the season. And then wide receiver Gabe Davis not going to be activated from the practice squad this week. The Barnes Firm Injury Report, it is brought to you by the Barnes Firm. Injured for help, call 1-800-8-MILLION. Pre-game coverage on Sunday is going to get underway at 11 a.m. We'll be able to carry all the way to kickoff at 4:25. We'll then hand the baton off to Chris Brown, Eric Wood, and Sal Capaccio, who will be on the call from the Northwest Bank broadcast booth. And do stay tuned. Sal's going to join the show next for the latest on the Bills. Around the rest of the NFL, some changes coming to Miami. Chris Grier out as general manager, a position he has held since 2016. Champ Kelly is going to serve as the interim, while head coach Mike McDaniel is expected to stay on as head coach for the remainder of the season. Jaguars rookie Travis Hunter is being placed on IR. He's going to miss at least the next 4 games after suffering a non-contact knee injury yesterday at practice, although reports today do appear the ACL is intact. Further testing, though, will be done to see the severity of the injury. Mac Jones gets the start again for San Fran at quarterback. They are taking on the Giants. And the NFL is fining Baltimore $100,000 for violating the league's injury report policy. Then at 8 p.m. tonight, Game 6 of the World Series in Toronto. Blue Jays can clinch their first title since 1993 with a win tonight. And join WGR and Bud Light for a Buffalo Football Friday happy hour. Schopp and Bulldog, they are broadcasting live today until 7 p.m. at Neighbors Pub, 337 Kenmore Avenue. Come stop by. You'll have a chance to win a Josh Allen jersey. No purchase is necessary. You can enjoy some other Football Friday live broadcasts coming up at Leo's and at Mitchell's. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly, 21 plus. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
Welcome back. Football Friday live from Neighbors Pub today, Kenmore Avenue. Chance to win a Josh Allen jersey. Stop by, scan the QR code. We're broadcasting here this afternoon. No purchase necessary. Join us for other upcoming broadcasts at Leo's and at Mitchell's. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly, 21 plus. We all enjoy Sal responsibly, I would say, I would hope. So,
I enjoy at times even some irresponsible consumption of Sal.
Of Sal?
Yes.
I'll give you a minute to think about what that might be.
I don't even know what it is.
Sal Capaccio with us now on the Western Hotline. I mean, it's Friday, and there's usually something, I guess, some injury news. But, Sal, I feel like we got quite a bit today.
Yeah, we did, guys. You're right about that. Really, up until even not knowing until it was revealed that because it happened at practice, I would guess, that Taron Johnson is now on the injury report and listed as questionable with a groin injury. That is not something that Sean McDermott mentioned to me. It's not something he mentioned to the media when he met with them right after. And he had not been on the injury report all week. But now he is with a limited participant designation today. Questionable game designation. We knew Daquan Jones would be out, Josh Palmer would be out, and Shaq Thompson is out for the game. McDermott confirmed all of that. I did ask him about Shaq, if that happened during practice on Wednesday. He said, well, it was something that was lingering. They were going to give him the vet rest day, but it was a little bit more that wound up going into it once they got out to the practice field, basically.
I guess it's obvious, maybe, Sal, like the Taron Johnson news could go either way. I mean, you could have something serious here.
Yeah.
Or just like a tweak, we'll play it safe.
Right, there's no way to know right now.
It seems like it'd be tough to guess.
Yeah, so limited could mean that he started practice and got hurt and left. Or it could mean that they already knew that something was bothering him, so he's a bit limited at practice. They just want to lay off him, but they're going to list him as questionable because, he was limited with the injury. But being questionable for the game is the alarming part. Now, I will say this, guys. I just tweeted this out a little while ago that it's like a pet peeve of mine. I hate the fact that the NFL got rid of the probable designation several years ago. Like that, I understand why they did it, because the NFL said, look, they did this research and like 95% of the players listed as probable actually played in the game. So they figured it was pointless. But to me, it at least gives you a better sense of where the team thinks the guy is, right? You see questionable, you don't know. We're having this discussion like, what happened to Taron Johnson? If he's probable, then it's like, okay, well, there was something going on with the groin, but should be okay. And I think that would at least help. And I hate being in the spot where you just kind of have to guess and don't know.
Yeah, right. I mean, questionable. Putting him in that bin leaves you at what kind of shoes is he wearing when he's out on the field for warm-up, right? Like, is he with the regular DBs, or are the trainers supervising him while he's doing whatever he's doing out there? Like, it just becomes this sort of piecing things together, which, can be challenging. If he can't go, what? Yeah. Is there more three linebacker looks, or are we Cam Lewis? Like, what do we do if Taron Johnson can't go in this game Sunday against the Chiefs?
I think it's just straight Cam Lewis becomes the backup, and he plays, and then Jamarcus Ingram is probably the number 2 nickel in that case. And you do have Jordan Hancock, who could also play the position, but he's a safety now, really. But I think it's straight up Cam Lewis. The only time they'd play 3 linebackers is when the personnel dictates it. Like, I don't think that an injury to the nickel dictates it. I think it's more of, if they're going to go big, they're going to go 3 tight ends, you put in
that makes sense.
An extra linebacker, right? It's just, but otherwise, whatever your normal game plan is, it's just next man up.
It's not the week for it.
No,
Sal.
You want all
your week for it.
Your best cover guys, your best tacklers, your best of it. You want the best of everything.
If Taron Johnson doesn't play in Carolina, I don't even know if I would think twice about it.
Right.
But this is not the week for it.
No, and I would say this, though. I'm not telling you that they should move on from Taron Johnson and play Cam Lewis anyway, but I don't think it's been Taron's best year. And, I think that Cam Lewis has filled in adequately whenever he's had to play, especially at nickel. At safety's been a little bit different sometimes. He can get you by there, but that's his more natural spot, playing nickel, and he's a very, very tough run defender, Cam Lewis is. You guys remember 2020, ironically, against the Chiefs, the COVID year. It was moved to Monday night at the stadium, that weird 5 o'clock time. Taron, who had been with the team for a couple of years already, basically got benched. He lost his starting job. Cam Lewis started for him that game, and then Cam broke his forearm early in the game, and Taron Johnson went back in and never lost the job again.
Yeah, I didn't remember that. Wow. The first of what is soon to be 10 meetings since COVID between the Bills and the Chiefs. Sal, what's left to say about these teams together? What's different this year is, as we know, the standings. Like, neither team is in first place, which would have been really surprising to anybody to think before the season that you'd get to week 9 and be there. But, Sam Panayotovich came on and was talking about how the spread is 4.5 points different from last year toward Kansas City, and he finds that interesting because it's mostly the same teams.
Is it? I mean, I guess. I mean, even Pacheco was out that game, right? I think he was, actually.
Yeah.
I don't think he played in that game against the Bills that day.
I do think not that these are spread movers, but I think Worthy's emergence, when they played last year, Worthy was not yet someone that, we might have been worried about him because of the draft day trade or whatever, but he hadn't really broken out yet. Rashee Rice wasn't there. There were Hollywood Brown might have even been in and out. Who knows? He had an injury-riddled first year there, but they've got – and Kelsey looked like maybe he was on his last legs. And all of that is different this time around.
Yeah, that's right. That part of it is different. I think it's recency bias, a lot of it. I mean, we've all been hearing it. Everybody's been talking about it. The Chiefs look like the best team in the league. They've been on a mission here. They've been undeniable on offense, the way that they've looked the last few weeks. Look at the Bills. They're struggling on offense. They're struggling on defense to stop the run, right? It's just, I think that is a big part of why you see the line where it is. There's a lot of just, look at the Chiefs. That arrow is going up. The Bills' arrow is going down, and I don't know how the Bills are going to stop them. I mean, I look at these. I think there's such familiarity with these two teams, these two coaches, the two coaching staffs, I should say. It's always a close game. I mean, the Bills won by 11 last year, but that was a really close game. That play by Josh Allen, that Jim Nantz, the game of the year, or play of the year, he calls it and all that. These are always close games. I mean, playoffs, regular season, all those games you mentioned, since COVID. I mean, I know the AFC Championship game wasn't as close in that year, but I mean, really, it's generally been a one-score game whenever they play.
Yeah, that AFC title game at the end of the 20 season is the one sort of aberration. Sam even mentioned that. Like that game was not close. Everything else mostly has been, even if, like you just referenced, the regular season meeting last year ended up being a bigger margin of victory in the end. It was a tight game, really, all the way.
Yeah, and guys, I mean, the Chiefs are really good. They're not perfect. There are things that, if you're in Kansas City talking about that team, one of the things that was brought up, I was on a couple different radio spots and with people this week, like they're not rushing the passer very well. They're not getting home, and that's something they're a bit concerned about as the season goes on. If you look at in fact, I was doing it this morning with Jeremy and Joe, they blitz at a fairly high rate, a little bit more than normal in the league, but their hurry rate is last in the league. Their quarterback hurry rate is literally dead last in the NFL. So they're not doing that particularly well. They're not a great run team. Now, I do think without Pacheco, they'll lean more into Kareem Hunt. They'll become a little bit more of a power run team. And then Brashard Smith, you just don't know how they're going to use him. They've been sprinkling him in here and there, but he's only averaging 3 yards a carry. But they're not a perfect team. You know what they do really well, and they do it incredibly well, but you got to stop that. If you can at least try to slow them down like that, there are ways in which I think the Bills have a path to a victory. But, the Bills are going to have to play a lot of mistake-free football to make that happen.
So we covered Taron Johnson. We don't know his status. Shaq Thompson, you mentioned, out. Taylor Rapp, maybe out for the year. Sal, were you taken aback by that update?
Maybe not taken aback. I thought, I guess I was a bit surprised that Sean gave that update now in week number 9, that's, looks pretty likely that that's the case. But it must be, severe enough for him to feel comfortable sharing that. And he even said, he's not a doctor. He doesn't know for sure, but that's kind of what it looks like right now from what he's being told, that Taylor Rapp won't be playing, and, probably next year is the timeline for him. So, yeah, I mean, but we all knew that Taylor Rapp was going to be out a while. He's placed on IR. This isn't, new news that you're losing a player that you were thinking you were going to be with here. This just really kind of cements them having to go forward at safety with the guys they have, deciding what they want to do there. Do they want to go outside the organization and bring somebody in by the trade deadline at 4 p.m. on Tuesday? Do they like what they see in Jordan Hancock? What do they feel about Jordan Poyer having to play these meaningful snaps that he's playing? So I think a lot of decisions have to be made at safety.
You could perfectly well Jordan Hancock's development and even Poyer playing a role, but they're down 2 guys now that they were counting on, Hamlin and Rapp, and I don't know. We'll see what happens come Tuesday at 4 o'clock, but I want to say I'd be surprised if they didn't add someone. I don't know if that'll be in the form of a trade or just some veteran that might be sitting out there that they can nick for nothing. But I think it's probably called for. Again, I like that they're working Hancock in. I think that's smart to do. I'm glad. I think I even said when you were visiting with us last Friday, I hope this game against Carolina goes in such a way that they can get some snaps under the belts of these guys, like Hairston making his first appearance and then Hancock on the back end. But I still think maybe another body is probably going to be needed.
I don't disagree. I would offer this, though. If Taron Johnson is healthy enough to be counted on, I could see them making Cam Lewis more of a safety going forward, is not just as much of a nickel. You know what I mean? And say, we have a guy. Now, they do have Sam Franklin, but as you guys know, just so everybody knows, on the roster he's listed as a safety, but he is just a special teams guy. But he can play safety. Right. That's his natural position. But I think the plan would be initially, what do you, as far as assets given up, what are you looking at? If you need to trade for somebody and it just doesn't feel like it's right to do, I think the more natural thing they would do is say, well, now that Max Hairston is at corner and we sold Jamarcus Ingram, we can move Cam Lewis to more of a safety role if that is needed, and kind of put him back in the, could be one week, could be something else another week.
Scrambling. Maybe this is a question for next week, but if there is this move that you might even be taking for granted, just what kind of timeline would you have at safety or, even DB? They did it with Rasul Douglas, and, he held up. That wasn't a disaster at all.
No, he had a real positive impact that first year when he showed up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just every position, Sal, is different. They're unique in, I think, how much time a player might need to get to know what a team is really wants from them.
Yeah, and I just think it depends on the player and what systems he's been in, how they translate. The Bills really rely on that position to have guys they trust and guys that know what they're doing to get people lined up right. I mean, that is something they talk about every week, like lining up properly. I know it sounds basic, but you got to be able to line up. They can't do as much disguising, even with Jordan Hancock, right? Like that you did with Hyde and Poyer. They like doing things like that. You bring in a guy in that's cold, like you're not doing any of that pretty much probably. It's probably something that they want to make sure we're not just standing stationary and tipping our hand on every single play because this guy's playing half the field, anything like that. To me, it's the toughest position on this team that they would want to bring in somebody and feel like you could be up to speed as quick as possible. But it's not impossible. Yeah. You can get guys who know the system or at least embed in systems that are similar to feel that you can at least get there in short order.
Sal Capaccio on the Western Hotline with us here on this Football Friday for a few more minutes. Sal, we all know so much attention and conversation within the fan base, on our shows, all of our platforms, about the receiving core. How big a game does Sunday feel like for Keon Coleman, if you think it's a big game for him at all?
Well, I think it's a big game simply because it just could quiet a lot of what's being talked about, or it could completely just ramp it up even more, considering that Xavier Worthy is on the other side, and a prominent former player went on a podcast and really kind of, just criticized him and said some things that went viral that he's aware of. The media asked him about it. And I think it just kind of puts more of a spotlight on all of that. And that's probably why. Big game from that standpoint, from how people talk about him. I don't think it's a big game as far as, his career arc necessarily. There's still more time left this season. And by the end of the season, we're going to have a big body of work and more information on that as it goes. By the way, we didn't talk about Gabe Davis did not practice today. That's not on the injury report. Excuse me, because he's on the practice squad. He is not playing on Sunday. Sean McDermott did confirm he's not playing on Sunday. They're not elevating him. And Joshua Palmer is out. So I'm assuming they'll just roll with 5 receivers. They're not going to bring up Christian Wilkerson or Steven Gosnell from the practice squad. But they could do that if they wanted to. But I do think it's a big game from that part of it. Bulldog, this is a chance for this young man to, and it's not just on him, it's on the coordinator, it's on the quarterback, it's on everybody, but it's a chance for this young man to really kind of step up and show the Bills and the fans and the country and the NFL watching that, hey, I mean, this is why they drafted me and not the other guy over there. And if it goes the other way, it's just going to continue to throw more gasoline on that fire.
Furthers that, right. Fair or not, Xavier Worthy touchdowns in both games against the Bills last year, regular season and AFC Championship. Coleman did not play, I think, in the regular season meeting. He didn't factor into the box score, at least, and he had 1 catch for 12 yards in the playoff game. All right. Matt Prater,
I think it was before. I think he got hurt right before that game, I think, if I remember.
Right, yeah. I think that's right.
You assuming Prater's good? I mean, limited all 3 days.
McDermott basically said he thinks he'll play. So, yeah. I did ask him about Tyler Bass today.
Thank you. I thanks for volunteering that. I didn't want to ask you and have you go like, I'm sorry, I ran out of time or something.
No, I did. And so did
Soner.
So Sean does his weekly radio appearance with me, and then he does another media briefing with the rest of the local media afterward. He was asked by me and by them, and basically the collective answer between the two was Tyler does stuff, on his own. He's doing great, and he's working really hard, and there's no definitive timeline, though, on getting him back. Like, he did not commit to him coming back or not coming back.
By the way, on Davis, who you already brought up, did you have any reason to think like they were ready for him to be activated, but there was a setback, or was he just not in the plans for this week?
It's a good question. So Sean said when he talked with me, he said he was feeling, what was the word he used? I totally forgot now. I forgot the word that he used. Inflammation from practice this week. So, I always thought that he wasn't going to play, but I don't think there was a 0 chance, and this is, you get inflammation. I'm guessing the knee. I don't know. He didn't say that part of it, but I'm guessing knee inflammation because that's what he came back from. That's not an encouraging thing when you hear that he came back from that injury and, he's trying to work back.
How about the Miami development today, Sal? You can't be shocked, right? The way they're going.
I'm not shocked, but this is a weird time to fire a GM, guys. I mean, like you just usually don't fire the GM at this time. Usually the GM is fired at the end of the season, and then the scouting staff is basically fired after the draft, or all of them after the draft. Like the GM and the scouting staff, you don't get rid of during the season because they have all the information for the draft. You don't want to let that intel walk out the door. The GM kind of sets the tone for the draft and all that, so you can do that because someone else can take over. But generally, you don't see that. Generally, it's the coach. So I'm not surprised they moved on from Chris Greer. Heck, he's been the general manager for longer than Brandon Beane has been the general manager in Buffalo, and they've won diddly poo to put a Jim Morris spin on it, right? And I know the Bills haven't gotten to Super Bowl, but Brandon Beane's won division titles and things like that, and this guy's in his own division, got the job before him. Anyway, that being said, it's usually the head coach that goes first. So I wonder if the timing was because of the trade deadline, and maybe Stephen Ross is like, I don't want him making these decisions by Tuesday.
Right. I don't want you being attached to guys that you know personally or have. Let me get someone objective in here to just go flamethrower. You want to give me a third for this guy? I don't care that I signed him and loved him and whatever. Like, just objectively, we're just clearing the decks. That's what that smells like to me.
I think so too, and I'm sure there'll be I don't know, I haven't read that. I'm sure they have an interim GM in the time being. I don't think they're going to replace him permanently right now, but then we'll see about Mike McDaniel where it goes. But it obviously doesn't bode super well for him.
No, 2-7. Bills next week in Miami.
Yeah.
Sal, thanks, and enjoy the game Sunday.
Enjoy the game tonight too. North Carolina at Syracuse tonight, Halloween night. How about that?
Oh, of course. That's what you meant.
No, and I got to tell you, I don't know if you guys know. Seriously, I've been reading about this. Syracuse is starting a kid tonight who's never started a college game. He's a freshman lacrosse player who's also the quarterback named Joseph Filardi. He will be starting for Syracuse tonight against Bill Belichick, by the way.
At quarterback? Is it at the Dome?
Yes.
Wow. I mean, they are good at lacrosse. So is North Carolina.
That might get me there during the commercial breaks on the ball game.
There you go. There you go. I like it. All right. Well, I'm glad I could get you there a little bit.
Thank you, sir.
May he fare as well as Trey Savage on balance has of late. All right.
See you guys.
Enjoy the weekend, Sal. Thank you. Yeah. There's Sal Capaccio on the Western Hotline. His appearances are always brought to you by New York's only outlet liquor. When you need to stock up, it's the place to buy a case. What's your outlet?
Mike Schopp and the Bulldog at Neighbors Pub, 337 Kenmore Avenue. Will continue after the update. Lines are open for your calls, 803-0550. Picks at 6. This is WGR.
Folks, Bulldog here.
3 players have officially been ruled out for the Bills as they get ready to host the Kansas City Chiefs this Sunday. Defensive tackle Daquan Jones, wide receiver Josh Palmer, and linebacker Shaq Thompson, while Taron Johnson is questionable after picking up a groin injury earlier today in practice. Some other notes from head coach Sean McDermott from earlier this morning. Safety Taylor Rapp had surgery on his knee. He may be out for the remainder of the season. And Gabe Davis, who did not practice today, is, though, still going to be on the practice squad. He will not be activated this week. And the Barnes Firm Injury Report, it is brought to you by the Barnes Firm. Injured for help, call 1-800-8-MILLION. And pregame coverage on Sunday, it's going to get underway at 11 a.m. We'll carry you all the way to kickoff at 4:25, where we'll hand things off to Chris Brown, Eric Wood, and Sal Capaccio, who will be on the call from the Northwest Bank broadcast booth. Changes are beginning in Miami. Chris Greer out as general manager, position he's held since 2016. He's been with the organization since 2000. Champ Kelly is going to serve as the interim, and then Mike McDaniel. He is expected to stay on as head coach for at least the remainder of the season. Jaguars rookie Travis Hunter is being placed on IR. He's going to miss at least the next 4 games after suffering a non-contact knee injury yesterday at practice, though some good news after an MRI today. It does appear his ACL is intact. And then Mac Jones, he gets to start again for San Francisco at quarterback as they take on the New York Giants. And at 8 p.m. tonight, Game 6 of the World Series in Toronto. Blue Jays, they can clinch their first title since 1993 with a win tonight. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
It's a must-win for Buffalo, and I go back to why last season ended the way it did. If you go to this matchup at home in Buffalo, Josh Allen has that massive run on 4th down that basically salts the Chiefs away. And then you go to the playoff game, that 4th down that was on the road in Kansas City where he's running around against that pressure, no plan for the protection, and it's a Hail Mary heave up, which ends up being somewhat of a drop by Kincaid. For Buffalo to get to the Super Bowl, that game in the playoffs has to be played in Western New York.
Dan Orlovsky, what are the chances? I mean, they're not 0, but compared to like last year, obviously, what are the chances the Bills and Chiefs will meet in the playoffs at this point? They exist, but last year it's week 10. What is it, 10-11, and Kansas City is 9-0.
Yeah,
and the Bills are 6-2 to win to get to whatever.
Yeah.
Easy division winners, no doubt about it.
Right.
As long as Baltimore doesn't get in the way, but somebody probably will have to play both Baltimore and Kansas City or Buffalo. That happened.
Yep.
They're going to meet.
Yeah.
And this year, it's not a given.
It's not a given, because they're not, setting the pace in their respective divisions right now. Man, I would bet heavily on them meeting in the playoffs. I think they're the 2 teams I think still to beat in the conference. The season tests you and your belief all the time from a fan standpoint. I think they're still the 2 best teams. I'm going to need to see New England. Let me see what New England does between now and the time the Bills go there in Week 15. Are they so good? Previewing picks. I'm taking the stupid Falcons getting 5.5 points at Foxborough. I'm just not sure New England deserves almost a touchdown against anyone right now.
We just did this the last 2 or 3 weeks.
I know we did. But I'm
Cleveland.
I'm heading right back in.
Tennessee.
Yeah. I love to miss picks.
I'm not taking New England.
And the same for the Colts. I just let's see what you can really do if you get actually behind in a game. They have been out front all year long, and that's to their credit. They're playing with a very favorable game script. But is someone going to be able to, turn them over when they take the ball first if they win the toss and get a lead on them? Not that 7-0 would exactly get you out of running Jonathan Taylor all the time and just setting up your whole offense, but still.
So they're getting the ball first in every game because they want
I don't know that they are getting it first every time. I just know that when they've won the toss, they have taken the ball.
And teams they play probably haven't.
Right, because most teams still do defer, I think. And I think the Colts might be on the front end of some new idea there. We'll see if it gets a foothold.
Look at this.
More people start doing it.
We're sitting next to each other today out here at Neighbors Pub. You can see it on the Pro Football Reference page. Takeaways in every game.
Right.
It's 11 in 8 games. They have takeaway in every game.
I mean, we saw last year with the Bills that a team can keep that up all year long. So I don't want to assume that they won't, but I'm just not – I don't think they've really been pushed yet, the Colts. And, maybe their schedule is favorable enough that they will barely be pushed. But I
don't know.
If these two teams make the playoffs, I'd be surprised if they're not staying in it, unless they play and somehow one of them wins their division and the other one doesn't, and they're a 3-6 or a 2-7 or something matchup in a wild card game.
Yes,
Bills Chiefs like that could happen, but that still would be meeting in the playoffs. I think if they don't play in a wild card round, they'll meet in the division round or the championship game. I think that's what I still would bet on. Okay. I would expect that.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I like the Colts a lot. I'm picking them today at Pittsburgh -3.
All right. Another chance for it to make up ground.
Because the way it all sounds to me, everybody to me on the Colts, perhaps not yourself, everybody to me on the Colts sounds one way. Well, I mean, you got to be impressed with the numbers and the season and everything, but it's still Daniel Jones. I think it's reasonable to imagine, to picture Indianapolis getting to the playoffs with Daniel Jones and cracking against somebody like the Chiefs or the Bills. I think that's a reasonable take.
Yep.
They're going to be in the playoffs.
Oh yeah,
they're going to win 12
at 7-1 already. I mean, they would have to really puke a lot.
Their schedule isn't the easiest or the hardest.
Right.
At Pittsburgh this week. I mean, huge if they win. Now they're just going to go to Pittsburgh and win.
Right.
I'm impressed. They went to the Chargers and won easily. They have, cleaned up against everybody. Arizona was a little bit dicey. The Denver game was a little bit lucky, but that's a good team.
Yeah.
And you had the Ram game that they lost, which was kind of fluky. I mean, they deserve their record. At Pittsburgh, Atlanta, that game is in Europe. Bye week. Then Arrowhead. Bye week before the Chiefs.
Nice.
Houston at home. They have 2 with Houston, 2 with Jacksonville. 3-1. Then they have at Seattle in there and San Francisco. Their final 6 games go.
Ooh, I like that. I like that they've got those 2 tough NFC teams.
I don't think San Francisco's tough, but they have been.
I guess I'm basing that on reputation maybe more than what we've seen this year.
Yeah, they're not dead, and they get healthy, and maybe they're live by week 16.
Right, that's what I'm thinking there. Yeah,
we'll see. Their last 6 games: Houston, at Jacksonville, at Seattle, San Francisco, Jacksonville, at Houston. They should be at worst 8-3 for that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying. There's nothing I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah,
here.
no, and you're not trying to convince me. I think they're going to be a playoff team. It's just I still think the Bills and the Colts are the best teams.
The Chiefs.
Bills and the Chiefs. Yeah, thank you. Are still the class of the conference, even though right now they're not sitting on top of their perch. So I'd be surprised if they don't end up seeing each other again.
Okay. You expect it. Okay.
Yeah. And this game, that's part of the reason why I'm not sort of as blasé about this game. Blasé is not the right word, but, game of the year, New England, Week 15. I think this game is still – this could determine where that game happens if they meet again. And, sure, I know the Bills have, equal opportunity offenders here. They've lost to the Chiefs in the playoffs, no matter where the game has been played. But it's only happened here the one time, and I'd like to get that. I'd like to get another look at them in January here. Make Mahomes come here one more time, like he already alluded to. That this could be the last time they play there. Right, historic.
The rivalry is.
Imagine that. That's the AFC Championship game, and that is truly, we know definitively, the last football game in the stadium. Man, that is hot.
There might be a flag game after that. Aren't there flag football teams now?
Sure. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
The Friday Drive at 5 brought to you by Northtown Hyundai, Western New York's premier Hyundai dealership. Shop online at northtownhyundai.com. By Northwest Bank for what's next. Get started at northwest.com. By Excelsior Orthopedics Express. Sideline with a sprain, strain, or break. Get to Excelsior Orthopedics Express. All right, a couple of the picks have been leaked.
Yes,
Leaked.
Sir. Leaked.
Game 6 of the World Series tonight. I think still do have a ticket to Game 7 that I think I probably can't use. I really want it to end. I want it tonight.
I really thought about. I talk about John Gale is something of a character on this show for people who listen. I think all the time. I bring him up often. My friend from Ridgeway, Ontario, one of the best friends my family's ever had. I don't have anything. I got to do the Halloween candy until 8 o'clock. Lights out after that. The kids are both out for Halloween. My wife's working. I thought about do I want to? I mean, he's 15 minutes across the bridge. There are places that we used to go when we lived up there in the summers all the time that I've not been to in many, many years now. Do I want to put that on him? Hey, dude, I'm coming. Let's go. Let's have a night. And I think it would wreck him. He's someone who may be, I don't know. It's conceivable to me that in the 7th inning of this game, if the Blue Jays are up by 1 or 2 runs and there's a Dodger on base, that he is standing holding some sort of scepter on one leg jumping up and down because some good I do not want to mess with the man's mojo by saying, hey, because I know in the back of his mind, if we did that and I get up there and the Dodgers score 4 in the 4th inning or something, he's going to be mad at me.
It's your fault.
Why did you come?
Yeah.
I need to be in my house watching. He'll be WeChatting with his son from China and his other son that lives in Toronto, and they'll be doing what they're doing. Literally, I don't know what time is it in China when this game goes on. His son Alex will be awake watching this game with him. I don't want to mess with it.
I want to say it's a big country, but I want to say give or take an hour, 16 hours ahead.
Right. I don't want to mess with any of that.
What do you think?
So I had the thought, if selfish for me, it'd be fun, go watch in a bar in Canada, but I'm just going to shut her down and sit home.
It's an afternoon game in China.
Right.
Tomorrow afternoon. Call them and find out who won. Greg Bauk, if you're out there, happy belated birthday to Greg.
Thank you.
He loved that joke.
Yes.
He built a whole career off that joke. How you know the future if you live in a future time zone. You can use that if you're out there.
It's like Guam.
The Guam joke.
The Guam joke.
It all comes back to Guam. The international date line.
I feel like maybe America Samoa was involved in that at one point.
Probably. Should have been.
It's all kind of easy.
Picks at 6 from Neighbors Pub on Kenmore Avenue. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog, WGR. Just talking fantasy. Bulldog, it's always already torture, but now we're sitting side by side, so he gets to see
I don't,
all my lineups. My spreadsheet with 3,000 teams on it.
I never needed to see how the sausage gets made. I got a tough one here, though. I got to show you. It's a little much. I don't need to see it.
Help me out. We're just one favor. One favor.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Help me out with a call on this team called Little Poke Jobs. You know what that is?
I don't. Should I know what Little Poke Jobs means?
No, you could, but you shouldn't. No, you shouldn't. I wouldn't say you should.
Okay. What does it mean?
1986 World Series Game 6, 10th inning.
All right. Go ahead.
The Mookie play, Scully says, little roller up along first. Earlier in the inning, it might have been when Ray Knight was up. Little poke job behind third, foul, like that. Little poke jobs. What often happens is when I'm drafting a team or organizing a team, I'll be watching something and I'll use something that I've just heard.
Such good memories.
Yes. Kyle Monangai. If he's in your league, grab him.
Bears. Yep.
Bears running back, no DeAndre Swift Sunday at Cincinnati. Come on. Woody Marks. Complimentary back for Houston.
There's an injury there, though, isn't there? Or is he okay?
He's healthy.
Okay.
Today they said he's healthy.
Okay. I saw yesterday something about him. All right.
And Christian Watson made his debut for Green Bay.
We got to choose them.
I need one.
One of these three.
No, I need two. Monangai is a lock.
Yeah, I was going to say, play him for sure. I mean, he scored already a couple weeks ago before Swift was hurt.
He did.
Because I remember not knowing, I couldn't recall how to say his name. I knew I had heard it on Sunday, and then I forgot by the time it came up on the show. So, he, for sure, him. What does Green Bay got?
Carolina, 2-touchdown favorite. Skip Watson. Got to take the running back points, right? Denver at Houston, though.
I was going to say I would play Watson.
You would?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm terrible at this.
No, you're not. Nope. Everybody's good at this.
Right.
It's just sort of pick a guy, right?
Yeah.
That's what you taught me.
Yeah.
All right, Watson.
Yeah, pick a guy.
You like Watson?
You need Mike's help?
You like Watson over Woody?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Picks coming up. Drive Around the League. Brought to you by Mike Barney Nissan. Awesome cars, great dealership, lousy jingle. Chiefs, a 2-point favorite over the Bills on Sunday. 1.5, 2. Are you picking the game?
I am not. I am not.
I still might.
It's like I had a week where if you know what the grid looks like on FanDuel.
Yes.
I had a week where it was like starting at the top of the screen, right? Ooh, love it. Skip, love it. Done. I didn't even get through all the 1:00 games.
You loved so many games.
Yeah.
How'd you do?
Well, today I don't know.
Oh, that's for today.
This is for today.
Oh.
So I don't think there's a correlation between how much I love the picks I make.
There never is.
And whether or not they're going to be successful.
There never is. I agree.
This can wait until picks, but I feel like I've righted the ship a little bit, but I'm not getting any ground. Like I'm 3-2 the last 2 weeks, but I lost again yesterday because, like an idiot, I had to think Miami was going to score points, and all I got was 2 friggin' field goals.
Points?
So I dropped another. Yeah, that's not the kind of points I meant.
Not enough points.
No.
What's the lead? 8.5.
I gotta look. You were also 3-2 last week.
I think so.
So 4-2. I'm 3-3. Yeah, I think you're up big.
Picks after sports from Neighbors Pub, 337 Kenmore Avenue. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here, WGR.
3 players have been ruled out for the Bills as they get ready to host the Kansas City Chiefs this Sunday. Defensive tackle Daquan Jones, wide receiver Josh Palmer, and linebacker Shaq Thompson, while cornerback Taron Johnson, he is questionable after picking up a groin injury earlier today at practice. We also heard from head coach Sean McDermott, some other notes from him. Safety Taylor Rapp had surgery on his knee. He may be out for the remainder of the year. And wide receiver Gabe Davis will not be activated from the practice squad this week. The Barnes Firm Injury Report, it is brought to you by The Barnes Firm. Injured for help? Call 1-800-8-MILLION. Pre-game coverage on Sunday will get underway at 11 a.m. We'll carry all the way to kickoff at 4:25. We'll hand over the baton to Chris Brown, Eric Wood, and Sal Capaccio, who will be on the call from the Northwest Bank broadcast booth. Some changes beginning in Miami. Chris Greer out as general manager, the position he has held since 2016. Champ Kelly is going to serve as the interim general manager, while Mike McDaniel is expected to stay on as head coach for at least the remainder of the season. Jaguars rookie Travis Hunter going to IR. He's going to miss at least the next 4 games after suffering a non-contact knee injury yesterday at practice, though some good news. An MRI today showed that the ACL is intact, though further testing will be done to see the severity of the injury. And Mac Jones, he is going to get the start again at quarterback for San Francisco. They take on the Giants this Sunday. And coming up at 8 p.m. tonight, Game 6 of the World Series in Toronto. Blue Jays can clinch their first title since '93 with a win tonight. And join WGR and Bud Light for a Buffalo Football Friday happy hour. Schopp Bulldog are broadcasting live today until 7 p.m. at Neighbors Pub, 337 Kenmore Avenue. Come stop by. You can have a chance to win a Josh Allen jersey. No purchase necessary, and you can enjoy other Football Friday live broadcasts coming up at Leo's and at Mitchell's. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly, 21 plus. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
And what if I did do it? Even though I admit to nothing and never will. What does that make me? And I'm not here just defending myself, but all those pickers out there who've been caught. Each and every one of them. Who has to suffer the shame and humiliation because of people like you.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
Are we not human? If we pick, do we not bleed?
On WGR.
I am not an animal.
Sports Radio 550.
I think, as they say, I would be remiss if I didn't at least once today say Happy Halloween. It is Halloween.
It is indeed.
I have had no Halloween contact, anything today, this week. It's just like not on my mind at all. Here at Neighbors, there's going to be a party at 9.
Yeah.
Karaoke. Pick your favorite.
I've never experienced karaoke, but I'm intrigued.
Pick your favorite spooky song or pick a song and make it spooky.
I'm also excited for all the kids that are about to flood my neighborhood, which is only a couple of miles from here, that the weather there's not rain in the forecast any longer. Like it might be windy, but I'm expecting a big turnout, which is, I really enjoy. I know I come off like sort of a Halloween Grinch because I never dress up, but I really like the whole thing. The sitting on the porch or even taking a chair down to the edge of my walk so kids don't have to walk up the stairs to get on the walk and then all the stairs on the porch. I have to go down there and just sit there and just, hang out, neighbors and whatever. I love it.
Go get your Skittles.
I just do not dress up. Yes.
Or Twizzlers. We read that Twizzlers are the most popular candy in New York State.
So I enjoy it. I did. I felt so lousy about not taking part in the fun. What's it called? The fun committee.
Fun team,
and coming to the work stuff. At one point, I will admit, I don't think I've told you this. In like September, I thought, I would love to see your face if I walked in the door at 11:30 for the work party in a costume.
Oh.
And so I thought, what can I'm a music guy. I like Slash. I like Slash, Guns N' Roses, right? I can pull that off. They sell like wigs and hats. And,
they do.
Like, I'll get some sunglasses and a pack of cigarettes and I got a leather jacket. I got motorcycle boots. I have guitars, even guitars that are close enough to the kind of guitars he's most famous for playing, Les Pauls. Like, I could pull that off. I'm Googling. I'm looking at the hat and the wig and I'm like, Slash does not have a big gray beard.
No.
And I do not care enough about this idea to shave my beard.
Okay.
So, like, that was the end of that. And they put the kibosh in the entire idea of putting a costume
If only
together.
you could just have it back the next day.
Yeah, right.
You can't go. You could slap a beard on.
Right.
A fake beard.
Yeah, right. But
you
I
can't go
cannot.
the other way
There's
around.
no one doing that.
No.
Yeah.
Time for picks. No one's doing that.
Right.
Ready?
It's time for picks. Yeah. You are up. You are right. 8.5. You are 29. Listen to this, folks. We got to hustle. 29-15-2 is your record. That is
against the spread.
That is a righteous record, my friend. I'm 21-27-1, which is pretty bad, but whatever. Like 500 is good. You are romping.
30 out of 45, so 2 out of 3. Yeah, you take that.
Yep.
All right, here's what I like Sunday. 1, Seattle, Sunday night at Washington, -3. Much better team. West to East, only 3. I want to trust Seattle. They've been good for me this year. They've been good, period. 2, Indianapolis, same principle. Much better team. -3 at Pittsburgh, short trip. A part of me that I fight against, that we all fight against maybe, is like, okay, Daniel Jones is going to walk through the tunnel and be like, yellow. I think doubts about him are priced into these lines, and they're still covering.
Yeah.
2, Colts.
I love it.
3, Raiders. Sam liked this one, too. I like it. I just been going against Jacksonville the whole time, and so far so good. +2.5 with the Raiders. Before the season, it might have been Sam as well who said, Pete Carroll, has he ever had a bad team? Well, he's got one.
Yeah.
But maybe they can salvage it. You're playing the Jaguars at home, off a bye. Come on. Genty, Bowers, even Geno Smith. Vegas. No Hunter. Suddenly, knee injury, IR. That's too bad. This was the game I wanted week 1 on Monday night. Hunter against Genty.
You better hope Geno doesn't throw 3 picks.
I will hope for that. I totally agree with that.
How about that for some analysis?
I hope.
You're probably going to lose that pick if Geno turns it over 3 times.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bulldog. How long you been doing this?
4, Dallas. -3.5 Monday night against, apparently, Jacoby Brissett again and the Cardinals. I was not going to pick Dallas if Murray. Murray is from Dallas.
He's never lost in that stadium. High school.
Yeah. And maybe he plays and I end up. But I got away with Baltimore last week. We did picks last week. I took the Ravens because of Lamar, and then on Saturday, no Lamar.
Right.
Dallas. And for a college game, same thing as last week. I have no idea. I don't want to just pick Sam's. I deserve to be called out if I'm wrong here. -2.5, Texas at home to Vanderbilt.
I thought about that too. Like, really, is I mean, I don't know who. You probably don't know anything about Vanderbilt yet. I don't know anything about Vanderbilt. Like, they're good now.
Pavia.
They're just going to go to Texas and win. What? Okay. That game got my attention too. All right. Well, I'll start with college because that's where you left off. I'm going to go back to the Indiana well, -21.5 at Maryland. So not as big of a cover as last week, and they romped like 56-6 or something. I don't even know if that was the final. I think I saw that score.
That was the score.
That was the final. Okay. So easy peasy. Only -21.5 at the Terps, but I'll trust Indiana. Just keep trying to make a statement. I feel like they will be a team because of who they've been that is going to feel like they are going to continue to come off the top rope with atomic elbows because they don't get the kind of respect that Ohio State or other historic Big Ten schools get. So Indiana, I think they will keep their foot on the gas and try to keep hammering people. So I'll trust them to cover 21.5 at Maryland. All right, quickly through the NFL picks. I'm going to go against you on the Colts. I have not won a single time picking the Colts. When I pick them to cover, they haven't covered.
That's tough to do.
Well, I know. It might be maybe they've only not covered once.
Arizona is one. That might be it.
Yep. I did have. Well,
Rams.
I had the Rams. Actually, I shouldn't say I keep getting it wrong. I did have the Rams. That was very lucky. They had an 80-yard touchdown when all they needed was a field goal, but they got the touchdown and covered.
That's
the
after
Rams.
A.D. Mitchell, and that's
Right,
too for
right.
that game.
So anyway, I'll take the Steelers getting 3. I don't think Daniel Jones is going to walk out and go yellow, but I just come on. Like even Baker Mayfield's been an MVP candidate. He's sort of hit the skids. Like you're not going to just cruise through the year. So tough spot, Steelers. I'll take the 3. Broncos getting 1.5 at the Texans. I just think Denver's a better team there. Houston, maybe they got some things figured out last week and the last couple of weeks, and they'll be more formidable, but I'm not buying yet. And I was really impressed with Denver the last time. Well, it was Dallas. Again, Dallas disclaimer. But I'll take the 1.5. I like the 49ers minus 2.5 at the Scatterbulless Giants. And I'll take Atlanta.
Yeah.
Getting 5.5 at New England. This is a okay AFC teams. Are you really ready to rule the roost here, Indy and New England? Penix is back. Atlanta's been schizoid all year long. I'll just take a flyer on that. That'll be a closer game if they don't win it outright. So Atlanta plus 5.5.
We'll see again if the Patriots don't just win easily.
Right.
We know they're pretty good. We know the schedule's pretty easy or very, but they have withstood any sort of at least in terms of the point spread, any kind of period, any sort of stress.
Yeah.
I mean, the game here was close, but they had nothing to lose that night. And now you get the Titans and the Browns and the Saints and these other teams.
Right.
And it's just been kind of cake for them. Now it's Atlanta. Next week at Tampa for the Patriots. Tougher if this one isn't. Penix, yes?
I heard today that he is expected to play. I don't know if that could still change here, but I didn't see anything definitive, but it was tracking towards he's going to play.
I think picking a Falcons game, no matter the side, is very brave.
Well, thank you.
Football Friday brought to you by Celino Law. Car crash? Call Celino. Call the 8s. And by Crosby's Pizza and Subs. Crosby's hometown fuel, game day ready since 1922. We'll come back with our chat with Sam Panayotovich from Bet Sweats as we hang out a little while longer here at Neighbors Pub on Kenmore. Right now it's time for us to take a break. We will be back in a snap, brought to you by Snapdragon Apples, the official apple of the Buffalo Bills.